The righteous shall stand in great boldness when the Lord comes.
When Christ comes for me,
They shall be amazed with the strangeness of our salvation.
when Christ comes for me,
So far beyond all that they looked for is what we look for.
when Christ comes for me,
How are we numbered among those saved from destruction?
when Christ comes for me,
Second Ezra 69, yeah, it's time for the Israelites to shine. Better open up your eyes. We the guys of this earth and we ain't dying no more. No pain, no hurt, no more crying no more. When we told you Christ was coming, we wasn't lying, no joke. Knock, knock, who's there? Christ nigh at the door. Hot time to be woke. See the signs that he wrote for these times, so we know that it's time to go home. Say bye-bye to the old as we start off anew. Everyone that ain't in line, what we bid you would do. Man, shoot, bro, we tried to cut lies with the truth, and we did, but the sin is what you still chose to do. So we win and you lose, so bye-bye with you too. See, the kingdom is exclusive, sinners is who we exclude. Revelation 22:15 was for you. 14 is the truth of what the king said that we supposed to do. The righteous shall stand in great boldness when the Lord comes.
when Christ comes for me,
They shall be amazed with the strangeness of our salvation.
when Christ comes for me,
So far beyond all that they looked for is what we look for.
when Christ comes for me,
How are we numbered among those saved from destruction?
when Christ comes for
You
me,
told me I was so foolish, laughing at me cause I do this. How could he be of the righteous ones? They gon' be sad when they lose it. You made your choice and you chose the wrong. Thought you was good, now you looking dumb. I gave you water but don't want none. The fire's coming, there won't be no rain. I was trying to show you the way, you was looking at me so great. I tried to show you love that day, but now you gon' regret your hate.
The righteous shall stand in great boldness when the Lord comes.
when Christ comes for me,
They shall be amazed with the strangeness of our salvation.
when Christ comes for me,
So far beyond all that they looked for is what we look for.
when Christ comes for me,
How are we numbered among those saved from destruction?
when Christ comes
Standing
for me,
bold in the sight of my possessor. The Lord is my defense against the ones that oppress us. They looked at what we did and accounted it for wickedness. Still in our captivity, and honestly, I'm sick of it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, read verses 1-9. It's gonna give you an understanding about the coming times, like consequences for the persecution of all his prophets. Plus the lies and the deceit of your favorite doctrines. Even our own people gonna be so surprised when the black Messiah cracked the skies and they realized they should have listened to whatever the Bible was saying. Instead they mocked, called us fools, thought that we was playing. But now that time has come and it is not a joke. Ain't nothing gonna protect you from the word he wrote. So keeping these commandments is a guarantee that I'ma stand bold when he come for me. Come for me, come for me, come for me.
The righteous shall stand in great boldness when the Lord
when
comes.
Christ comes for me,
They shall be amazed with the strangeness of our salvation.
when Christ comes for me,
So far beyond all that they looked for is what we look for.
when Christ comes for me,
How are we numbered among those saved from destruction?
when Christ comes for me.
Thank you for the love and the joy that you bring. Thank you for the mercies and for everything. Thank you for the unity of all my brethren. Everybody let's sing, praise the Lord and let's sing. Thank you for the love and the joy that you bring. Thank you for the mercies.
Start your show now, press 1.
Your show is scheduled to start in 37 seconds.
From the curses, only a remnant of Israel the chosen.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's that time again. Yeah. Ya es la hora. You know, power hour. Ponle atención, class is in session. Tune in for an hour, maybe more, that's a blessing. Learn from the captains and the leadership. Flee from religion, cause them churches never teaching shit. Everything you learn for your benefit. Line upon line is a requisite. Never take a deficit, yeah. That mean you take a loss if you stray from the way. You get the understanding if you study every day. Apply what you learn and bless when you pray. There's one interpretation, man, it's say what it say. Ya viene el tiempo, entra para el templo. Aprende del maestro con talento. La Biblia es el centro, usando a Israel como instrumento. No te pierdas en doctrina como viento. Estudia y ora y aplica. Tiempo para Dios, ven, hace una cita. Escritura dinamita, morenos y hispanos israelitas. Oye cómo explica Israel unido en Cristo para la vida, nunca se divida. Tune in, it's the power hour. Learn your family history, don't be a coward. Yeah, tune in, it's the power hour. I said learn your family history, don't be a coward.
Yeah, history to learn. It's the power hour. The 11th hour. Tune in to your history. You know it ain't no mystery. Power hour. The 11th hour. You gon' learn your true history. 11th hour. Power hour.
Shalom, shalom. Welcome to the Power Hour Plus. I am Deacon Joshua.
I am Officer Shia.
Officer Tobias.
And we make up. No, we don't make up.
Right? Right? What is going on?
Who raised it?
And we make up and I'll form the head. Voltron. I used to love Voltron as a kid.
That was
I don't remember it.
Oh, that's right. You young. How old are you?
What, 30?
Why does my
32?
thing sound so low? Is my gain down or something?
I was saying it earlier.
I sound extremely low. Like I can't even hear myself good.
There you are.
That's a little better.
Yeah.
That's a little better. I'm used to. Is it? Do they mess with? Or is it you messing with stuff in here? See, now I hear static and scratchiness.
Oh, goodness.
Hello. Test. Okay.
Once we get a new school. Nah.
I think. Oh yeah, it got to be a new school.
It got to be a new
Bro,
school.
my thing sounds like I'm in a
Funny,
tunnel.
huh?
That sounds better now. A little better.
The way I'm hearing myself.
It's all in your head. Nah, I'm just kidding.
What did you do? Why aren't the settings just the same? I sound muffled. At least to myself.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
on our side. It might be the headphones.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Let me see.
Yeah. I used to be a Power Ranger guy.
Oh, someone said the gain is real loud. So is it my headphones? Is it my ears? Hold on.
Gotta get a hearing test.
What are you doing? I'm testing my earpiece because you said I sound fine.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. Officer, sorry, what's it sound like on your side?
That sounds good.
Oh, someone said, yeah, we def sound like we're in a tunnel.
Testing. Sounds good to me. I don't know, my
Maybe
headphones
your
are-
ears are messed up.
Could be.
All right, I think that sounds decent enough. I'll do my best. Nah, it's hard when you're trying to hear yourself through there. Oh, you doing the Officer Issachar? He hates those things. He just leaves
Yeah,
like
I
one
can't-
off.
I always leave the
Yeah.
right one off.
Yeah.
But I try to make it not look too obvious.
Yeah.
Well, you do.
Yeah, until someone points
It says
out.
sound is terrible. Turn the gain down on Deacon's mic. What about now? Does it sound better now? I know there's like a little delay with the YouTube, so I'm not sure.
Goodness. See, now I'm going to have to bust out my phone.
Oh, so you can hear it?
What?
Okay, someone else said it sounds good. Wait, let me see if the speakers turn up.
And we make up the Power Hour Plus.
Hold on, let me see. Can I hear myself through here?
Plus.
Oh, so you can hear it?
See, it
That
sounds,
sounds
good.
good.
Okay, someone else
I
said it
see.
sounds
I'm
good.
seeing some mixed feelings in here.
I am seeing mixed feelings. Okay, I think it sounds okay.
That sounds alright.
You know, it's getting warm. I forgot I gotta get like a little one of those bladeless fans in here.
Yeah, I was
like,
thinking that earlier.
like the Dyson.
And then I got the coffee, so I'm
You
like,
sound good, bro.
No, it sounds fine now.
Yeah.
It didn't before. It sounded terrible before. I don't know what you
Actually,
did.
sounds like a good.
I don't know
like,
why
a
you always
good-
gotta mess with the buttons.
1 2 1 2.
You doing the Bishop Yawasop back in the day when we were in the basement. With his little,
How was that? How was that, bro? Talk to us about that.
Oh my gosh,
to us.
it was jokes all the time,
Yeah.
bro. I mean, not from us at that time. I was, what was that, like
Oh,
officer
snap.
20 or something like that. I
Yeah.
was quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. Yeah, but nah, leadership was always getting on him.
Yeah, about like audio.
Well, because he had the whole setup like right there at the table, so he was always messing with it. And then,
Was
you
he
know.
like on the end? So he had like his
he was on the end, so he had his own setup and stuff like that. So yeah, no, now we got IT booths and better equipment, standardized stuff. He had some stuff that he took out of his storage from like the 90s.
I will say this: we use what's that recorder, like interview recorder? I forget the name of it all the time.
Yeah.
That comes from him, so we can record audio.
Oh yeah,
itself. What's
I've
it called?
seen that. I know what you're talking about. We used to record class. I remember I bought a little recorder, a little MP3 recorder. Some people used to use little mini tapes. That was when we were in Bishop's basement, and then in Brooklyn, we used to put the little recorders. So they would have a whole bunch of little recorders up at the table, the leadership table.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were
And
recording the class.
Good audio, decent audio. Like they were
Yeah.
picking up on everybody else.
Yeah, no, it picks up on the whole room, but you heard them clearer because it was right there. So yeah, yep.
I think I heard someone talk about
Faithful
back in the
little-
day doing VHSs. The VHS.
Yeah,
videos.
Bishop Yalsop used to do
Yeah.
the VHS production and stuff like that. And I remember we used to get on public access TV and stuff like that, things like that. You know what public access is?
No.
Yeah, damn, you young. How old are you again?
32.
29.
You're 29? No way.
I'm gonna be 30 this year.
Why's your body like 38?
'Cause I don't know.
Marriage.
He went full dad bod, bro.
Hell, everybody tell me you eating good, and I'm like, I can't lie, bro. I do eat good, bro.
You do
All
eat
the brothers
good?
that when I haven't seen me in a while, bro, you eat good, huh?
Got
That's the
that,
first thing they
that
say.
single brother righteous envy right now.
Yeah.
You eating good? I ain't gonna lie, I do eat good, bro. Shout out to my wife.
Nah,
She makes
man,
some good stuff.
Officer Isaac be eating pretty good.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I mean, he be doing the dry ass fish.
Right.
Yeah.
No seasoning.
They look like no
You
seasoning.
need some salt.
He
on
don't
that.
put no salt or
Nah.
nothing on there. You gotta question his lineage.
He
Right.
makes it look good, but nah, bro.
Nah, but I mean, he has like sufficient portions. I know some brothers be having the struggle meals. He's
Right.
he's on it. You know,
Right.
you be eating good though, right?
I be eating
Bro,
good.
because you were like crackhead skinny when you first came in.
I mean,
bro.
I wasn't like that
You
skinny,
was
but
you
I
had the
was,
sideshow Bob haircut. You know sideshow. Look up
Yeah.
picture of sideshow
Don't do
Bob.
it.
I'm gonna
Don't
show
do
you.
it. Don't
I'm gonna
do
show you the
it.
hair
Do
Tobias had.
That's an order. Everybody in there.
No,
Don't do
look
it.
up, but who outranks the order here?
Facts,
Look
I
up
can't-
sideshow Bob. Nah, I want them to see your glow up.
Okay.
I want to see your glow up.
Right.
All right. Yes. Go ahead.
Trash.
No, but do the one with the American flag. 'cause
Wow,
he
you
was-
said
he
I
was
looked like
all into
Steph Curry
America.
when I first came in. What happened? We went from
Steph Curry in
to
high
Sideshow
school.
Bob.
Steph Curry in high school. Yeah, so Tobias was like that. He even had the American flag hoodie and
Because
all
I'm
of that.
proud to
Dang.
be an American.
Nah, that was how he had his hair, because he was trying to like, show that he was Judah, like
that Judah
he was like, look, because his hair real short now, but if he lets it grow out, it has a little fro-ish appearance to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people sleep on that. So
Man, my fro was big back in the day.
yeah, it was like that.
And
Nah.
funny. Yeah, bro.
Mine was like me and the bishop were like neck and neck.
Hell no. Hey, I'm gonna find a picture of you right now, bro.
Don't do it.
Hey,
Don't
anybody
do
from
it.
Phoenix have a picture of Officer Tobias? Send me that thing right now, bro, because we're about to clown this guy right now.
So going back
bro.
to the eating good, as a single brother, you were real skinny, bro. You were like slim. You had knobby knees and all that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
I remember you used to come train with me with the Krav Maga. You were pretty slim. And then you started eating good. That's why I said you must eat good, because you put on some mass.
I've been eating that.
Yeah.
I've been eating good.
And you say you're 32?
32.
So he's younger?
Yeah.
So you're older and you don't have a dad bod.
Facts.
He's not married.
No children.
That's the excuse?
Yeah.
Wow, bro. And
That's-
we're about to do the finale on these closing thoughts, and you could just say, when you get married, just let yourself go?
No. Don't let
Wow.
yourself go.
That's like Game of Thrones with the king, like the first season.
Uh-huh.
It's like, there's like a scene she's talking about how, like, I did love him. He was strapping and fit and everything. And then he got fat and, couldn't even put on his armor and stuff like that. Right. Dad bod. Don't let the world tell you dad bod's all right, okay? Look, it's unrealistic to think every person's gonna have a 6-pack. Like that's that's media, you know? Like, not everybody, unless you're naturally like that, like, you know, your build is like that. But, you know, some amount of fat is actually healthy. If it's too low, your hormones can be out of whack and stuff like that.
Everything goes off balance.
But I'm not talking about, like, you know, extra plushiness where the fat's pushing on your organs type of stuff. That's not healthy.
What they call it, the visceral fat?
The visceral fat. I got about, well, I was at, like, I want to say a month ago, like 14 pounds. I lost a pound of visceral.
Okay.
No, I've lost more pounds. I've lost like 8 pounds in the past month, but I lost like a pound of visceral. The visceral's hard, bro.
It is.
Well, because it gets like blood supply.
What do you mean?
Like it's around your organs. Like some of it's good because it insulates the organs.
Right.
But versus like the white subcutaneous fat, like the stuff that's between the skin and the muscle, the visceral fat gets blood supply, so it's kind of hard. Like it's more resistant.
It's being nurtured by the.
Yeah, so it takes longer. So it takes longer to kind of burn the visceral fat off.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they call that the brown adipose tissue.
Learn something new.
Yeah. But so it's good and bad. It's like more metabolically active because it's like has blood supply to it, but at the same time because of that, it like it's harder to burn off.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Let me not get all into that. We gonna do the
men's fitness.
Yeah. We're gonna and I want to get. See, thing is, I was thinking of like, you know, buying little.
Put it up.
Small bottles of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that we want to show for brothers and their hygiene and stuff like that, like men's hygiene. But maybe we'll do pictures. I don't know.
Put it up.
Spend the money on all
Put
that.
a telegram right
It'll
now.
be giveaways for the show, bro. Maybe I'll give it to brothers here. That stuff.
It's an investment. Come on.
Yeah. We'll see that.
There's a lot of things that I'm like, yo, want to pick your brain on, like what you take and stuff like that. Hey, go to Telegram. Go to Telegram. Put up the picture.
Wow.
Put up the picture right
now. Hey, there it is. Sideshow Bob. No, that's short. That's short. He had it longer than that.
Y'all are wrong.
That's the first one I found.
That ain't even.
Nah, that was like when I first came in too.
Nah, he was already gaining some weight.
Yeah, that's a rough day.
I know you had a lot of spirits on you. Look, you could see it in his eyes, bro.
Yeah,
Legion.
Damn.
Legion.
That's big facts.
Nah, but you were here a little bit because you have some sprouting hair over there.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That was good.
Bro, they found a picture that they sent me that was from a movie night where, bro, it was just the fro, but I was way skinnier. I just don't have my phone on right now. I'd send it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, your hair was longer than that.
Yeah.
It was a lot longer than that. All right, get it off the screen. Let's stop.
Thank you.
Let's stop.
Thank you. Save some dignity.
Get it off the screen.
That's funny.
Get it off the screen.
All praises for grace.
He said all praises for grace. All right, so I wanted to do some closing thoughts on this, these weeks that we spent on, wait, I'm looking here. These weeks that we spent on the proving and the different aspects of it. Gosh, we have so much stuff here. I had posted it last week that I said would be closing. We would open with the closing. Oh, you know what? Hey, start with that one. That's kind of funny. The one where it says how many people have you slept with? For those sisters that were offended when I said what's the body count.
Oh gosh, we got so much hate.
Yeah, I thought this was funny. I know we got so much hate off of that with the body count.
So much, bro.
My goodness. Go ahead, play that.
Some sisters almost fell off the truth.
They damn fell out the truth over that.
They said, I'm a new creature in Christ. What's wrong with you? We ready? Let's go. Oh.
You ain't got the audio, none of that. And then after that, let's show the picture you put, Othaniel, about chapter 1 in
refresh it.
From the Bible of the streets.
Oh, that was a good one.
Okay, go ahead, play this for the body count. Just a little humor, like I said, and then we'll give some closing thoughts on this, and then we're gonna move on to the building up godly men. We're gonna get back on the brothers. We were doing that I think last year. It's been a while since we went back to that. We had a lot. Remember, I wanted to go through the whole book.
Right.
And it's been a little while, but go ahead, play this.
I've only slept with you.
Oh my god, are you being serious? Really?
Yeah, I'm serious. Everyone else kept me up all night.
Emotional, damn it! How many people?
Oh my goodness. How many people have you slept with? I only slept with you.
Really?
Really?
My goodness.
Everybody else kept me up all night. Oh, that's where she belongs. Read that.
Chapter 1. From the streets did she emerge, and to the streets she will return. And I say unto you, she is for the streets. So be not weary when she must return from whence she came.
Oh my goodness. Be not weary. From the street she came, and from the street she will return. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, the world is so depraved. There are people out there with that mindset, man. There are people out there with that type of mindset. Hold on. I'm trying to go back. Where's the other one I had? Oh, okay. Hold on. So go all the way back. I think I put some opening and final thoughts. That's where I started from. And then we'll show the scarcity mindset last, because that'll be a good segue into dealing with the brothers.
Hey, and I got a question. Well, once we get to the men's portion, right?
Yeah.
There's something you said that was good about consistency, and I had a question about it.
Okay. Well, that's going to be once I get to the men's portion.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that. So that's good. We'll open up the dialogue with that. All right. What did I say about this? Oh, when you are a kid, you feel like the bad guys, right? All right. So before you read this, remember I said a lot of times, you know, we're so, and when we watched the last video on the scarcity mindset, remember we spoke a lot about red flags. You'll hear that term. I use that term just because you hear that a lot. We didn't get to go into the money red flags and things like that, but maybe I'll save that for. I've been saying for the longest I want to do a class on like money disorders and how people
the emotional attachment.
The emotional attachment to money, and it's not always greed. I think people walk around and say, "Well, no, I don't have an emotional attachment." Everybody has emotion about money. It's just what is that emotion? Right. What is that emotion? Everybody feels an emotion about money, and I think if you don't control the emotion about money, that's when it becomes problematic to you. It gives you stress. It gives you grief. It manifests itself in different ways. For years, I've been saying I'm going to do a class on that, but I'm going to do it.
That's going to be
Still waiting.
That's needed. That's needed. Like when you really think about it, that's
So. But I'm telling you, I got a list of things that I want to go. Sometimes I forget to write them down. Like I'll get an idea
like
and
the
I'm
title.
like, yeah, or like what the general topic idea would be, and then I like forget to go into it. But so we were talking about this mindset that we have. So first, let's read it, the whole thing, and then why is it? Did I send it cut off? Is that why it looks a little cut off?
I think it's a cutoff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You can still read the top. But go ahead, read that.
Zoom in, and scroll it down.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
You feel.
When
you were a kid, you feel like the bad guys will be easy to spot. They talk bad, they do bad, and they tell you they want to do bad. Then when you get older, you realize the bad guys talk like good guys.
Now this goes across anything about having your guard up about people, right? The proving a friend aspect, which we talk about in general, but we discussed very much so in the proving and when I did the class on the proving, right? And You cannot. This reminds me of when Paul said, "Be like children in malice," right? But not in other things. Put away the childish things. A lot of times we don't really dissect that enough. We don't really unpack that enough to talk about see, as a child, you think the bad guys will be obviously bad. When I say the bad guys, I'm talking about people that it's going to be a nightmare for you if you don't go through the proper proving, right? And that's male or female. All right. And you think that they're going to talk bad. You think they're going to, have obvious bad guy traits. What you have to realize is that you get older, bad guys actually talk like good guys. Right? Go ahead. Come on.
Then when you get older, you realize that bad guys talk like good guys.
Come on.
They say they want to do good.
And you'll hear that, especially when you're dealing with the representative and proving, right? Remember, these are final thoughts, final takeaways of specific actions, because we obviously spoke a lot of scriptures, but then I wanted to give a lot of little tips and stuff like that to put in people's minds, right? You got to realize that bad guys actually talk like good guys. They talk about all the good they want to do. Come on.
They say they want to do good. They look good.
Meaning they're presentable. They might actually even be very attractive. Right? Come on.
The most insidious and dangerous ones truly believe they are good.
Let's look up insidious, because that's not a common word, all right? And let's show people what insidious is.
That sounds like a very potent word.
It's a very potent word. It's potent.
Man.
It's potent. It's potent. Yes, someone put the fear of poverty. Yeah, a lot of people think money, emotions and money is always about wanting more of it. And sometimes no. Sometimes people are so frozen by not having enough.
Right.
Right. And that elicits a whole another thing of emotions and spirits that are not productive either. But
What are you doing?
laws will
Right
come
there,
up with
yes.
that.
Scroll down.
Insidious.
Translation and more definitions.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that one. I need something more potent. Potent. I need something more potent. Let me see. Yes. Go ahead. Read the first one.
1. Intended to entrap or beguile. 2. Stealthily treacherous or deceitful.
Stealthily, meaning
So subtle.
not that it can't be uncovered, but if you're not awares, you will uncover it too late. You will uncover it too late. All right? Come on.
3. Operating or proceeding in an inconspicuous or seemingly harmless way, but actually with grave effects.
Right. And this is why one of the best defenses, if you don't have the sharpened radar and senses to spot these type of insidious behaviors, the best thing you can do is prove longer.
Right.
Because it's harder to maintain stealth at all times. Eventually, you start to show more of who you really are the longer you wait. This is why a lot of times these people that rush into these relationships, you'll start to see those red flags once the commitment is made. And it's not that they popped up because of the commitment. It's just that if you'd have given it enough time, you'd have seen those behaviors. And sometimes you'll scratch them off as nothing major because of the amount of investment emotionally and in your time you wound up giving to this person. Now I'm talking about extreme cases. I'm not talking about little simple things of people just not being mature enough to get along and have an open dialogue to get over the things that you're going to deal with in any type of relationship, let alone marriage, right? Where you're just dealing with things. A lot of times we don't deal with things constructively, you know, like in childhood, you weren't taught how to deal with things constructively. It was if you don't get your way, then you're not going to participate, you know, and that's where the silent treatment stuff comes from and things like that.
Right.
There's a lot to say about what they call childhood trauma that you don't realize subconsciously you bring into all your interactions as an adult. If you don't self-reflect on yourself, because that's ultimately what we're going to move into when we start dealing with the men. And you know, the advice I'm going to give to the men, some of it is applicable to women, but it's more critical that the men get it right for the nature of what the Most High has called us for. Right. So read that part from the top. So and then you know, insidious is that stealthy, treacherous, negative behavior. They're not good people.
The deceit.
It's the deceit.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
Like an invisible behavior.
It's almost invisible. You know, stealthy means that if you look right or if you have the right equipment, you can detect it.
Right.
You just don't know where to look. And a lot of times, again, it goes back to if you wait long enough, you'll see
it manifests.
You'll see it manifest somehow.
Right.
But you got to be realistic with yourself in that regard. But go ahead, come on.
Then when you get older, you realize the bad guys talk like good guys. They say what they say they want to do good. They look good. The most insidious and dangerous ones are truly believe they are good, despite their horrible actions.
Right. So it says the most insidious and dangerous ones truly believe they are good. Those are the people that have no type of self-examination within themselves. They can't see it. They actually think they're good people and they're operating from a good space. But what they really are is lovers of themselves. Go ahead. Come on.
Do not freely give trust.
Do not freely give trust. Do not, because you know why? Trust, and that goes whether you're proving or in any type of relationship. Do not freely give trust. Because trust is not necessarily a tangible thing. It manifests in actions. But trust is an emotion, in my opinion. Because it's a level of putting faith in somebody without a track record of what they can potentially do to you. It puts you in a state of vulnerability. Trust to me means you're vulnerable.
Right.
And you've opened yourself up to that vulnerability and you've allowed yourself to be emotionally damaged by it.
That's heavy. You know what that made me think of is the Proverbs 31 where it talks about his heart does safely trust in her.
Yes.
Because with a wife, you've built that level of trust with her where you can allow yourself to be vulnerable and you trust that she's going to treat that vulnerability with respect.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable.
Right.
Because in order to progress in any type of relationship, there has to be some measure of vulnerability.
Right.
You know, you're on the battlefield, you trust your commander to, give you the right directives and the right orders, right? But that trust is built on what? He's at his rank and he's at his level because he has a wealth of experience that, and obviously in the scriptures, that the Most High deemed, because promotion comes of him, where I should have confidence in what this individual's saying to me, but also know that I've seen that in their actions.
Right.
That I'm going to go ahead. You'll hear the term that, I'll run through a brick wall for you. That you don't just, someone who does that without any type of equity,
right?
There's something wrong with them.
I say, and what you said about the rank and going to war with someone like that, right? I say because their trust comes through training with them, so you know their weaknesses, you know their strengths. And the experience. So then, I trust this leader.
And experience shows you character traits that makes a trustworthy person.
Right.
Remember, I said the person you want to be in the foxhole with. That's a term that they use. Who would you want to be in a foxhole with? Right.
Because you've been with them. You've seen the up and downs.
Right.
It's like with I remember you did a class a little while back. I'm not going to deviate too much, but it went into David and his mighty men. And they ran through enemy lines to get him water when he said he wanted that specific water.
Yeah.
And that leader.
That was a while back. Right?
Yeah.
I remember.
He poured out the water.
Yeah.
Once they risked their lives to get it, just because of the level of respect that he had for them, and he would never put them in harm's way for selfish purposes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, again, this applies across every spectrum, but, you have to look at that trust. Do not freely give it. It's not saying don't give it. I'm not saying be paranoid. Yeah, this is why I say it's necessary to give trust in order to build deep, meaningful relationships. But it says don't freely give it. And to freely give it is you got to have your senses up. You got to keep these type of things in your mind that not all bad guys talk bad. Right. It's not going to be obvious. Get that out your head. The most insidious ones are the ones that are going to talk good and look good and dress good and act good. And then you also have to, what's good?
Right.
And obviously I'm not saying, yes, the law is good. And yes, that's first. But what's good in your mind? What are your standards for good, right? That goes to some stuff we're going to bring later about your non-negotiables and things like that, right? And you got to have non-negotiables. You got to have them.
Right.
You can't have a ton of them. You got to know what you bring to the table.
Expectations.
Look-wise, quality-wise, value-wise. Be realistic in that regard as well.
Yep.
But it says don't freely give trust. Come on, keep going.
Do not freely give trust. Make people earn it.
Right, and I want you to understand something. The earn it also comes with time is a big part of it. That's the easiest one that you don't need to acquire a skill. Give it time. Give it the time that it deserves and it warrants. And not blinded time. This is why I say in the truth it's beautiful because you don't get blinded by sexual relations, which obscures anything. Remember, I said sex is designed to feel good, right? Like even bad sex is going to have some sort of good feeling and some sensation behind it, right? But that blinds you from the other stuff.
Right.
Because you mistake the physical closeness for something more meaningful. And it's not because, just like you're able to masturbate with no type of emotional connection to somebody and still feel some pleasure, don't mistake that you got a warm body next to you as something valuable.
Right.
That's because you're doing it in reverse. The scriptures eliminates that when you do things the right way and you wait, right, to go ahead and get physical, and it doesn't obscure all these things that you need to look at. So this is why I tell people, you're burnt. Don't let the conversation lead to that. Don't go to those things because those are things that bring the curtains down over what you're trying to see in somebody.
Right.
Right. No, there was more on that, right? Was that it? Was that all of it on that? Okay. All right. And this was the other one that I had. Do not freely give trust, make people earn it. Okay. Here's another one. Let's read this.
And when you choose a life partner, you're choosing a lot of things.
Count it for what it's worth. All right. Remember, these are my final closing thoughts on this. And, marriage and this type of stuff will always be spoken about in some way, shape, or fashion. But it may be a while before I deal with it on the show at this level. And, I think it's kind of run its course. I mean, how much more can we do? Although I am thinking of potentially doing something here once a month for married couples, but I'll see. I got to see. I got to count the cost if I can make the commitment.
Right. That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
I want to do something. Not necessarily like a counseling thing, but maybe like deal with topics.
Yep.
like questions from the married couples, and then you got to be physically in attendance because that's going to show your commitment to wanting to work on what you got going on, and kind of give some marriage coaching through the scriptures in that regard. Again, not sit there and be like a marriage counselor per se,
Right.
but you feed me topics, and I'll see what the scriptures say about it,
That'd
and
be
we can
really
kinda
good.
do something about it. So we'll see.
Hey,
Sundays?
Some people right now are imagining.
I know. I was
themselves-
thinking of taking one of the Monday night law nights, doing it once a month, and doing
okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see. What you said now, soldier?
Some people are imagining themselves right now on that little chair, and you got a notebook.
Uh.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I just want to be able to that if I do it, that I stick to it.
Yeah.
So I gotta see.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
All praises.
Yeah.
Strong marriage, strong nation.
Go ahead.
And when you choose a life partner,
And you got to realize that's what you're saying when you want to prove that you're ready to pick a life partner. That you're a life partner. The world, marriage leaves you the out. So a lot of people go into it thinking they can bail, like you have a parachute. You got to look at it as when you jump from the plane, that's it. All right? Go ahead.
you're choosing a lot of things.
You're choosing a lot of things. Come on.
Including your parenting partner.
How many people think? And nobody thinks about that. No. Because you know why? There's a simple question I ask. Do you guys want kids? Yeah. Eventually. What happens if you get pregnant the night you consummate?
Right.
You're choosing a parenting partner. All right? Go ahead. Come on.
A parenting partner and someone who will deeply influence your children.
Right. This is why I get that in Corinthians 7 where it says about the pleased to dwell. It says, else are the children unclean.
Yep.
All right? Get me that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's talking about when it says someone who will influence your children. All right? You have to look at these. Even if children are not in your mind, and yes, Esau has, various birth control methods, all right, and things like that. But if God wants you to have a baby, you're going to have a baby. We got an officer that said it wasn't like in the truth, but he had a vasectomy, and he wound up having a kid with a vasectomy. Right? Like,
His way through.
Yeah, bro. The body found a way, bro. He hear them tubes or something like that, right?
You ready?
What verse you going to go
14.
to? Okay. Yes, go ahead.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7 and verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
Right. So it's talking about those who are pleased to dwell, and pleased to dwell means they keep commandments. All right. They're involved. All right. It's not just I love you and I'll tolerate what you're doing. It's that they're gonna do it because what will eventually happen is God's word washes over you and it influences you. You're not gonna start keeping these laws and then not change you. All right. So the pleased to dwell aspect, this is why he says for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, because the motivation will be because you love that person, you start to do those things, but the power in God's laws and that Holy Spirit is going to change you. You don't keep these laws and it doesn't affect you, right? Go ahead, come on.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Come on.
Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy?
Right. This is why those of you who have like kids with unbelieving spouses and if they're not with you all the time,
right,
those kids are unclean. I don't care that they're clean when they're with you, they're unclean.
Right. Or if they go from a clean environment
to an unclean. You have to understand that.
Right.
You have to understand. You want to play that game, you want to do that. I understand the connection to children. I'm a father. I love my children incredibly.
Right.
All right. But you have to understand that. They're not clean if they're in a dual environment like that, right? So when you're picking that, you're picking a parenting partner, someone who's going to deeply influence your children. So you have to know that your values are on the same page. And I think a lot of people think commandments is showing up on the Sabbath and wearing fringes and growing your beard and the dietary laws. I want to know, how are you on the deeply emotional ones, the royal law, the ones that build character, the fruits of the spirit type of things. That's what I really want to understand when I'm proving somebody. The other stuff, remember, the Pharisees kept it. Get me that way. He says the cup is clean, the outside, but the inside's dirty. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Get me that.
Is it
Get
Matthew
me that.
13?
I thought it was Matthew. I'm trying
23,
to find it.
sorry.
Is it?
Get me that.
Yes, 23 and verse 26.
Go ahead.
The book of St. Matthew.
25.
Chapter 23 and verse 25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup.
Right, and you have to understand something. I think everybody excludes themselves from this scripture because they're saying, well, he's blasting the Pharisees. And I think people think Pharisees, and they think you have to be in a position of some sort of authority to teach people such. Remember, you teach people just by your actions, right? There's a direct teaching and a not. There's people with a pharisaical, if that's a word, spirit that sit amongst every congregation, where outwardly they're clean.
Right.
No pork. They wear their fringes.
Right.
They show up on the Sabbath day, maybe the holy days. Some don't even do that consistently, right?
Hell no.
So on and so forth. But those are the outward things, right? Those are the outward things. That's a pharisaical spirit. All right, that's a Sadducees type of spirit, because inwardly they've not really worked on changing themselves, and all this is actually going to transition well to what I have to bring out. I have several scriptures that we're going to go through later. All right, read that from the top again. Come on.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess.
Right, they're full of extortion and excess. Come on, read.
Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also.
Does he say more about the whited
Yes,
sepulchres?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Come on.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful.
Right,
outward.
so what's a sepulcher, right? That's like a tomb where you put bodies, right? And outside is beautiful, but when you go inside, what's in there? A rotting corpse. A rotting corpse. The old man is in there.
Damn.
But he's thriving. It's the walking dead.
Damn.
Go ahead. Read it from that top verse again.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees,
Come on.
hypocrites! For ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones.
Right. Beautiful garments, beautiful fringes, everything. But you got bones. You got skeletons in your spiritual closet hiding in there. And you may fool others, but those of us that have, through exercise of use, like you read in, that's in Hebrews, right?
Hebrews, yes, sir.
We're able to discern between good and evil.
Right.
So we see right through your bullshit. Pardon my language. All right?
It is what it is.
We see right through it. You think you're fooling everybody, and you might be fooling novices, but you're not fooling none of us.
Right.
But what happens is, when you get into this proving process, you have to remember that just because somebody's here with fringes and a border of blue and all that stuff, they have many bones inside, and that's what you're trying to find out. That's what you're trying to uncover, because you can be a whited sepulcher. Your pots and your plates could be clean outside, but inside, filthy.
Right.
Filthy. And it can be insidiously so, like we read in the other one. All right? So go ahead, including your parenting partner.
Including your parenting partner and someone who will deeply influence your children.
Come on.
Your eating companion for about 20,000 meals.
Hey, that's someone you're going to be having a bunch of meals with, right? That's your eating companion, right? And why is that important? Breaking bread, I think I've spoken about this before. There's something about sharing a meal, going over something like that has some. You might think it's just eating, but it's a primal thing that you're sharing and partaking in together.
You have dinner talks.
I was
Right.
gonna say,
Or
back in the
lunch
day,
or
that
breakfast
was,
or whatever
that was
it
like
is.
a big thing growing up, sitting down with the family
Oh
at dinner and conversing.
You know, the society today has kind of pulled you away from that. You
Right.
know, and it's interesting because when you're dating, right? What do you typically do?
Just conversing, trying to get to know each
No,
other.
no, but like you go out to eat.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But then you
I'm
get
sorry.
married and you hardly have meals together.
Right.
I know, and I'm like that. Now my wife's gonna be like, "We gotta sit down and have meals together." I'm busy. We'll do it sometimes. All right.
Hey, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't.
It's gonna be like, I'll be like, yeah. Sometimes I'm not hungry when you're hungry. You know, like sometimes
Right.
it don't work that way. But in general, right? You think about it. Somebody you're gonna have about 20,000 meals with, right? Come on.
Your travel companion for about 100 vacations.
That's if you typically take,
Travel.
I think they say the average person takes a vacation every 3 years or something like that. But go ahead.
Your primary leisure time and retirement friend.
Right, because, that's the person that when you're both not working anymore that you're going to be around all
They with you.
the damn
The leisure
time.
Ball and chain.
The ball and chain. So don't you want to pick somebody that you're going to feel
That
that
likes
you
the same
want to be
movies
with?
that you like?
That you want to be that you want to be like this is somebody that's going to be all the time.
Like a lot
And
of
in the beginning, and you're excited, and you're like, yeah, but guess what? When the body starts not working the same way, when the hormones level drops and the blood doesn't flow the same, and you're older, that's why you got to go beyond the physical.
Then you actually start watching movies,
right? You know what I'm saying? You know, like somebody you might need to help wipe your behind one day.
Hey, that's
But there's somebody that you're gonna see their face all the time.
Like a lot.
He's looking at you, Officer Tobias.
Forever, ever.
No, all I'm
Like
seeing
a
right
lot.
now is the video.
Forever, ever.
The video he showed, I think it was a week or two ago. It's like, isn't that better?
Ain't that better?
Ain't that better?
Ain't that better? Go ahead, come on.
Your primary leisure time and retirement friend. Your career therapist.
Right, because when you're dealing with the job and you're having issues and you're going to be talking to them about the stuff, right? And this is just some of the stuff. Come on.
And someone whose day you'll hear about 18,000 times.
Right, so you can't be annoyed by this, you know, because then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't want to listen to you. I'm tired of listening to you.
That one right there,
This
bro.
is who you're gonna be with.
That one right there.
So you really better build that foundation on who you're gonna get with, based on longevity, not the moment. Not the moment. That's fleeting.
Hey, and this is just like some worldly stuff.
And this is worldly. We deal in the spiritual aspects of it, you know?
Says intense shit.
Intense, yeah.
Yeah, that's some good stuff right there, bro.
Someone said, who's the ball and who's the chain? It don't matter. Sometimes one of them is both. Either way, it's commitment. It's prisoners. What else we got? Okay. So, how do you help yourself by not giving trust freely? How do you mitigate some of these things? Look within yourself first, all right? You must decide what are your non-negotiables before you go. Some of you want to prove and you don't even know that. Remember I said we got that proving thing and everybody talks about what they want in somebody but not necessarily what they don't want. I think it's more powerful what you don't want because you'll eliminate wasting time. Because a lot of people might have the little things that you think you want.
Right.
Most people do not put anything profound in that, in this matching. So your proving is designed for you to be able to see if this person has your non-negotiables. And that's what you're looking for. But you have to establish those before you start that process. So go ahead, read.
What are your non-negotiables? Knowing your non-negotiables helps you to set boundaries.
And that's what you want to do. You want to go into something like this with boundaries, okay? You want to go in with those fences up so you know when those boundaries are crossed.
Right.
And if I was you, I wouldn't move the line on those.
Okay.
This is why you have to really reflect on them beforehand.
Right.
And know what those are. And it shouldn't be something frivolous, you know? I mean, I don't know. This is important to me, but let me just say it's something that could be changed, right? Like oral hygiene's like a big thing. Like, you know, if you're somebody who's not going to take care of your mouth, like, you know.
Yuck mouth.
Yeah, if you got yuck mouth.
Yeah, can't do it.
That might be a non-negotiable for me. But it's something that maybe could be changed, right? Maybe somebody doesn't understand how critical that is or whatever. I'm just throwing something out there. You have to know what your non-negotiables are.
The sandpaper feet.
And your non-negotiable is not the commandments, right? Because you're not talking to them if they're not keeping the commandments.
Right.
So, and that's what I mean. It is a non-negotiable.
Right.
But it's not one that you don't even get into that realm of wanting to talk to somebody. Those are basic expectations.
For you to even be considered.
For you to even be considered. I gotta stress that enough.
Yeah.
Because I think we put too much on that, and that's the outward, the whited sepulcher, but we're not looking at the bones inside. Right? So knowing your non-negotiables helps you to set boundaries. Come on.
It can save you a whole lot of time spent on relationships that you don't like.
Come on.
And aren't serving a purpose in your life.
And here's why that's number one and why that's so profound. 3 years proving, which is what we recommend, but we have on paper 1, does not seem like a long time if you know your non-negotiables, because you will not wait 3 years to then find out that that's not the person for you.
Right. All that time spent, all that.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll start, if you know your non-negotiables,
you're gonna weed out quicker.
You will see them sooner and quicker, and you won't waste 3 years. It's not a waste. I think it's an investment of time based on the previous slide that we saw with, 20,000 meals,
right?
100 vacations. I forgot what the other was. 18,000. How was your day?
Right. Yes.
Right.
Ain't that bad?
So you wanna know it'll save you a whole lot of time because you won't spend time on that. You'll be able to cut it sooner.
Hey, Tikin, Sirach 25:1 makes so much sense now where it says a man and husband that agree together. Improving, right? Because you go into it with your non-negotiables and then y'all come into a common ground and you look at things and I like this and you and not even the basic stuff. I like this and that, but it's just yes, we agree in the Bible, but then we grow together. We build each other up and
right.
Sirach 25:1 makes a lot more sense.
Big time when you really reflect on those. Someone said buy them the gold Listerine. Oh my god, yeah, the gold one. The other ones is like nice, like the gold Listerine is like a punch in the mouth.
Dang.
It burns. Even if you got good hygiene, it burns. That thing killing everything in your mouth. But like I spoke about the toilet bowl that you need some scrubbing, you got to go to the dentist.
Right,
all right. I'm sorry, you got to go to the dentist. If you're dentist adverse, trust me, you're eventually gonna have a nasty mouth.
The more you upkeep it too, the less you even got to worry about it.
The less you got to go. You just go for your cleanings and that's it. Right. A lot of people worried about the dentist. Oh, the dentists are butchers. It's because you're nasty.
Right.
Your oral hygiene is disgusting. You wouldn't let your parts get like that. Well, some of you. So why you do it with your mouth? Hey, I had seen a thing one time. I think I've mentioned it before. This is like a thing we say in hygiene circles. Bleeding from your gums is not normal. When you brush your teeth, if you're bleeding from your gums, that's not normal. If you washed your hands and they started to bleed, would you go to the hospital?
Yeah.
So how come when your mouth bleeds, when you wash it, brushing it and stuff, everybody treats it as something normal?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a damn good point.
Anyway, next slide. So know your non-negotiables. That's number one. Come on.
Many people spend so much of their lives on autopilot that they never really stop to find out who they truly are.
And let me tell you what the autopilot is. Go to school, get a good job, get a nice car, get a good house, make money, get B's. Right? That's the mentality we grow up with as men, right? And now even women have become more lewd, right? Get yours. Get as many rods as you can. Enjoy yourself. Get the free meals. Let them wine and dine you, right? And you never really spend time on yourself.
Right.
Some people go from relationship to relationship, which you know how that whole way the world does it is broken. Dealing with that. It's supposed to be one and done unless death. Or, they bug out and they leave.
Right.
But so many people are on autopilot that you never really stop to find out who they truly are. So in order to determine your non-negotiables, you got to spend some time with you. This is what it really means to love yourself. It don't mean you look in the mirror and you're 300 pounds and you say, I love that. That's what the world teaches you. And it might not even be from an attractiveness standpoint, right? I mean, I don't like big women, and I'm being nice. I mean fat when I say big.
Right.
But it's unhealthy. There is no healthy fat. There is no healthy fat. And I don't like big bones. Show me big bones. What does big bone look like? Like a brontosaurus bone?
I mean, there are some big boned women, though.
No, what you're talking about is where people distribute fat genetically, all right, and where muscle is held genetically. There ain't no big bone.
This guy, bro.
Some people hold a lot of fat in their ass. Some people hold a lot in their gut.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people hold a lot in the arms,
Yeah.
You got the sisters like dong, dong, ding, dong, dong, dong. I'm sorry. Listen.
Emotional damage.
It's not.
Put it up.
Fat
Put up
is
the
not
big
healthy. Fat is not healthy. There ain't
Put
no
it
big
up,
bone.
Soldier Michael. Put it up.
I had a graphic where it shows the fat like on a scan, like an MRI scan, and how it presses all on your organs.
No, it's fast.
And then your stuff don't function right. Then you wonder why you got irritable bowel syndrome and all these other issues. You got all this fat squeezing on your organs and your body parts. Right? This is why you're breathing heavy. This is why it's hard to get up. Your joints are messed up.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. There's no girl. I'm big bone. So you mean to tell me this? What your skeleton look like? It's fat, bro. It's fat.
There is big bone.
There is big bone. That's what your skeleton look like. Get out of here, man. That don't exist.
And that's why, like, what is it?
Be fat, bro.
Precept with a captainship.
Someone said she got arms that look like she cooked good chicken. You know what? That's a bonus, but some of them big boy girls don't even know how to cook. They know how to order out.
No.
They know how to order out. You would think back in the day, maybe you like, oh damn, she know how to cook some good fried chicken. So you just know how to order out. Get out of here. Go ahead, come on.
They struggle to identify why they do what they do.
I mean, this is why that self-examination, that self-reflection, is so heavy.
You
right?
want that picture with the organs?
Yeah, you got it? Do you have it?
I'll send it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's run that back real quick.
Give me 1 second.
Best they know is microwave dinners, right? The hungry man with the little burnt ass brownie.
Yeah,
Put
those
it up,
used to be
Michael.
the dinners back in the day.
These used to be the dinners when you was trying to take the shortcut. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't get me wrong, man. I do some of them frozen, low calorie pizzas sometimes because I like pizza all the time. But you know, I think I've posted them little 300 calorie little flatbread pizza.
It still looks
that
healthy.
ain't bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing too. We'll talk about it on the health show.
All right.
Healthy's another thing. Like what's good, what's healthy.
What's your standard?
Right. Well, what is the standard? What makes something unhealthy or healthy? You know.
Yep.
So, but anyway, look. So that's a scan.
On the left is 250 pounds. On the right is a person or a woman, a man or woman. I don't know. I think it looks like a woman. 120 pounds.
Right. So that black stuff is the organs and the different organ parts, and then look at the way it's all squished on with all that fat. Right.
The yellow is
the yellow is the fat. So look at the yellow. Look at the way it affects the whole body. And the bones are the same size.
The muscles are the same size.
Hey,
the muscles are the same size too.
Hey, you know, some of them try to put on a waist trainer. That just makes it worse.
That makes it worse because now you put the waist trainer, right?
What's that?
That's like it's like a tourniquet for your stomach.
Oh, okay.
To hold the
Like
belly and the chichos in.
The English.
The aletas.
Chichos, las lonjas.
The aletas from the back from the back it looks like wings.
We call it las lonjas.
From down here it looks like chichos or the muffin top.
Right.
Or the mounds and mounds and mounds of mocha ice cream stacked one on top of another. That's what it looks like, right? And then they'll put the waist trainer and they actually squish all that fat in more. The picture on the left that we're looking at. And they'll squish all that fat in more. And what you're doing is you're squishing your organs. You're having all that stuff. They call it a waist trainer. That's just a marketing term. Corset. That's what they used to call it back in the day. Corsets.
La faja.
Some modern day. The faja.
La faja.
La faja. It's la faja. But right, the organs are like, yo, what I did? Why are you putting so much pressure on me? I'm here to help you function. Right?
La faja.
So when we get on people who are overweight, it's not necessarily an appearance thing. Yes, there's some people that they're fine with thick.
Right.
But that don't mean it's healthy.
Right.
That don't mean it's healthy.
But so thick is different than big bone, right? Or there just is no big bone.
Thick and big bone are the same thing.
Okay. All right.
Thick and big bone are.
This guy's
You think the bones look like that? You think the bones look like that?
Bro, still trying to do the big bone
I think he's just subtly letting the sisters know what he kind of like.
Yeah.
Shot man.
He needs some milk.
Nonsense. Do not tolerate. Do not approve.
Anyway.
Stop.
All right. Go back to the other slide with the words on it.
Hey, brothers better ask if sisters wearing these waist trainers. You think you getting somebody slim, and then you get in that
right. That's the
chamber.
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
That's like the
You
make.
thought this hair was real?
Hey, Leonard, can I put up
You
a
thought
video
these-
about
you
the
thought these
faja
eyes-
with the waist trainer?
Yeah, you can put a video of the
Oh,
faja.
gosh,
later.
I saw it on Facebook
Let's
the other
go
day.
back and read it. You can put a video about the faja. Let's do that. Let's put a video about la faja. Go ahead. They struggle. But so remember, we're dealing with the non-negotiables. You got to know what those are. But in order to do that, it takes self-reflection, right? Come on.
They struggle to identify why they do what they do, think the way they think, act the way they act, and feel the way they feel.
Right. Some people don't even know why they do the things they do, why they say the things they do, right? Autopilot. Go ahead. Come on.
Worse, this goes on to affect their love lives, who they date, and career choices, even limiting their potential.
If you don't know who you are, all right, you're going to limit your potential. Come on.
So here are 5 things that can actually help you get a good sense of who you are.
So one of them was knowing the non-negotiables. I didn't pick all of them because I didn't think all of them were scriptural. But go ahead, give me the next slide.
2, what are your core values? Your values are what you stand for. They are the things that are important to you.
Right.
A good way to know what your values are is to ask yourself, what will you not do? What are your standards? What do I want my life to look like? What am I living for?
Right. So, and don't just give the canned answer of, fear God and serve it and keep his commandments. Yeah, but then what about everything else as you live in this earth?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Again, that I need that. You have to be a believer.
Mm-hmm.
That's the minimum. But these are some questions that will maybe help you understand what your core values are. And through your core values, you start to understand what your non-negotiables are. Come on.
3, what are your weaknesses? You need to know your legitimate weaknesses.
And this one, people are so good at being critical of others, but very rarely are they good at criticizing themselves.
Right.
And criticism is a word with a negative connotation. It's not a bad thing. The fancy word is critique, which then goes into critic, right? The movie critic's not a bad thing. A food critic's not a bad thing, right? But their job is to critique.
Right.
Hey, Christ said, how can you judge somebody else if you got the motes in your eye?
Yes, that's heavy. That's what he's really talking about when he says that, right? That's what he's really talking about when he says that. You got to look at your own stuff, right? So it says you need to know your legitimate weaknesses. Come on.
It will give you so much relief when you can accept that you're just not that good at something.
Hey, and you know where this manifests itself a lot? Job interviews. And nobody knows how to answer that question.
That's true.
What is? Give me one strength and one weakness. Right. You'll get that on a job interview.
Oh man, that's a good one.
And it's kind of a loaded question at a job interview because you know you better not say if you late and you call out or not, you better not say that's your damn weakness if you want that job.
Don't hire his ass.
You will not get hired. No, I did that for a lot of years. I interviewed. I did hiring, human resource, and all that. You not getting the job. I mean, I appreciate your honesty, but.
Right.
Yo, I was at that's true. I was at a interview one day, and they had like 6 of us in the room, and it's like, hey, what do you like to do on the weekends, or what do you like to spend your time on? And there's a brother that said, I like to sleep. Yeah, I like to sleep. He did not get the job.
Nah,
no,
you can't be saying stuff like that. So you gotta look at things that I mean, in a job interview, you look at a weakness that you know might actually seem like a strength. Like that's a little jive talk, right? But in dealing with others, you got to know what that weakness is. You got to know what that weakness is. Come on.
It will give you so much relief when you can accept that you're just not that good at something. Remember, you don't have to be good at everything. You can always outsource your weakness.
And hey, guess what? Where I'm weak, you're strong.
Right.
That's how you make a complete pair. Right? Hey, you know what? I really don't make the best healthy choices, but you seem like somebody that does. I'm willing to kind of let you help me with that sort of stuff. Right? Oh, you cook healthy, whatever. You know, both of you like to eat bad. Not a good combination.
Facts.
Not a good combination. Go ahead, come on.
Or both of you go to Amazon nonstop every day.
Right. Not a good combination.
Bad combination.
Right. None of you have fiscal responsibility.
That's a very good one.
Come on.
4, what are you willing to struggle for? If you want the benefits of something in life, you have to also want the cost.
And you read that in Luke, right?
Yeah,
Can we get that real quick?
Sir.
Let's get that.
That's heavy.
I have more respect for somebody that can tell me where they fall short than somebody that can give me their whole resume of everything they do good.
Right. That's like that.
That goes into the before you get that. Get the one with the prayer
Parable.
with the publican and the Pharisee.
That's what I was.
That's what that's going into.
Yes, sir.
That's what that's going into. With the publican and the Pharisee.
Yes, sir. The book of St. Luke, chapter 18 and verse 10. 2 men went up into the temple to pray. The one a Pharisee and the other a publican.
Come on.
The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself.
This is the people that can't self-reflect. They don't know what their weaknesses are. All right? Come on.
And the Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For every one that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
Right. So when I did the humility class, I had used this as an example, and I said confidence is knowing where your strengths are, and others see them by your actions. Right. Arrogance is having those strengths and having to make sure that you vocalize what everybody knows that you're good at. Right. And I'm not talking about a qualified, and I'm butchering it. It sounded a lot nicer when I did the class, I'm sure, the quote. But
I was just talking about this with Officer Elkanah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said the difference between arrogance and confidence is humility.
Yeah. Yeah. And the humility is the confidence is that you're at peace with those abilities, and it's not necessarily important that everybody has to know what they are.
Right.
They'll show in your actions, like show me your faith by your works, right? So you have to be able to acknowledge your weaknesses, just even in your prayers. That's what the example that we just read. So if you can do that within yourself, between you and God, then you should be able to dig a little deeper and know where you lack and what you need to improve and work on. And then get me the one in Luke about counting the cost, right? So we got to know what you're gonna willing to struggle for. Come on.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 14 and verse 28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest happily, after he had laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
All right. So that's it. We don't need to keep going because it gives multiple examples of that. So you got to be able to know what you want to struggle for, right? So if you want the benefits of something in life, it says, you have to also want the cost, right? There's always a cost to it, okay? So he gives some examples here. Go ahead.
One, want a $500,000 business. Want more fame. Want a great relationship. Want to get ripped. Want to look younger, healthier, and happier. What you're willing to struggle for is all that determines what you will do, have, and be.
Right. Because meaning you're going to put in the work and the effort that it's going to take to obtain it. And this goes back to also when it says some people even talk good, but they're not good. You know, so, you know, a woman will say, I want a man with goals. And they'll meet a guy, and all he talks about is, yeah, you know, one day I want a house, one day I want a business. Yes, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this. But then they never stay with them long enough or ask the questions to say, okay, so what's going to be your first step? You know, or if you want to make it fun, hey, let's say you had the money to do that business you want to do. What would be your first step that you would do?
Right.
Hey, or they never ask, how can I help?
Right. Right. Yeah, that's another one that you could say, because now it sounds like you're willing to work with them in their deal, but then you're going to see if they really have a plan.
Right.
So a lot of you sisters, dumb sisters, all right, simple sisters, okay, and you're dumb and simple if you fall for that. You'll let a man talk to you about all the things that he wants to do, but then never see that there's a plan behind it. You never do the proving to see, and you'll say, oh, this guy has ambition. He has goals. No, you don't have goals. You have ideas. Goals mean you have a plan of action behind them, even if they're far off. You'll know what your first step is. I'm not saying they're going to have a whole business plan behind it, but they'll have something more than just what they have is a dream.
A fleeting thought.
It's a fleeting thought. And a lot of times they'll say those good things and all those right things because they know in general that's what women want to hear.
Right.
Yeah, one day I want to buy a house. Yes, one day I'm going to have a business. Yes, one day I'm going to do that. And then you get into the relationship and none of those things manifest. And you find out that they're scared, they're lazy. They don't really have any type of idea. I've said this before, like with business or things, right? And it depends on what you like. Everybody has an appetite for it, right? So whatever. Let's say you like pizza, burgers, steak, whatever your favorite thing is, chicken. Looks good to everybody, but not everybody can digest it.
Right.
Right? Not everybody even knows where to begin or where to even get it. So it's one thing to desire something. It's another thing to have some sort of substance behind it. And what you're really trying to find out when somebody speaks to you that way is what are they willing to struggle for? Are they willing to take the costs that go with it?
Or what if you flip it, Deacon, and it's like, okay, you go with someone that is driven, is going to...
How did you find out they were driven? Do they have a body of work to show that they're driven? Right. I mean, listen, I'm not saying everybody's going to be established, especially as the younger ones get together. They might not have anything left, right? Bishop talks about the 2 pennies. We put them together, we'll make something work. But how do you know that they're going to do that?
You know a lot. That's where a lot of the works in the body come into play, though. Like, how consistently have you been in the fundraisers? Are you doing Titus 2? Are you doing
that shows you a measure of dedication,
right?
But you got to be direct. You got to have these type of conversations. It goes back to the questions that we had, right? Do you plan to look fine all your life?
Yeah.
Do you plan on getting fat?
Right.
What's your plan to maintain that? You know, and that's just one aspect of it. But really, if somebody tells you, yeah, I want to have a business, I want to have a home. Oh, yeah? So what's your plan? Let's just say we get married. Or how long after do you think we're going to buy a house? And how we're going to accomplish that? Do you know what it takes to buy a house? Have you looked into that? Are we going to get a mortgage, or do we have family that's going to help us put a down payment? Where's the down payment from? Do you know what a down payment is?
How much?
Do you know what a mortgage is? Where do you want to live? What type of house do you want?
Gosh, those questions are very good, bro. Those are very.
That's how
very
you
good
know
questions.
if it's just a dream or thought or game versus if they've really put any type of thought into it.
You know how
And they may
stressful-
answer you, but if the answer sounds fleeting, it means that they've never done that. And if that's not a non-negotiable for you, you talk with them. Maybe you help them, and that's a weakness for them, and maybe you help them build in that. But if they're averse to having that type of dialogue and stuff,
Yo, getting a house is very
Red flag.
stressful.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Getting a house is very stressful. You think it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a house, get pre-approved, go get. No, it's very, very stressful.
should men not have a house or at least a home? Well, and it doesn't have to be ownership, right? But they should have their own place. They shouldn't be living with mama or with a roommate.
Show
Right,
that
right.
you
Yeah.
can live on your
Yeah,
own.
show that you can live on your own. Yeah, before. Well, here's the thing: if they're at home, then no, right? Because doing things the right way biblically, you stayed at home. And I'm not talking about they left home and came back, right?
Right.
I'm talking about, let's say you're talking about second, third generation.
Yeah.
That grew up in this truth.
Right.
They leave together. Which means part of when you're arranging the wedding is you're looking for the apartment to move into together after the wedding,
Right.
or the house to buy, depending on your circumstances. The reality is, many of us that are not second or third generation Israelites, meaning not born in this truth, and we're repenting, they might own a house already, they might not, but you should not be with a roommate, and you should not be
With your mom.
living at home,
Yeah, with your
unless you're, within that young age group where
Right.
you're waiting to get married, so you're gonna live at home in that regard. You're 35 years old and you're still living at home.
You should have your own place. Level of independent. You got to be able to show that you can take care of the wife you're trying.
And that's
to
what I'm
take.
saying. Remember, I'm talking about, second, third, and when I mean second, third generation, I'm talking about the ones that are born in the truth, that we're doing things the right way now.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody who's repenting and born again, that's a little different, right?
Yeah.
You take certain things in it. But no, I mean, they don't even know how to handle bills on their own.
Right.
Like how they gonna? Some people don't even know how to buy toilet paper.
Hey,
No.
go back to the autopilot one. Hey, and then we had a video for you.
So at least a 2-bedroom. Nah, I mean, listen, that's up to the individual. I mean, you got
What is it?
remember it says a mean cottage. Better is a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house. So-
Studio. all
right.
utilities
You got a
included.
studio. That's all right. You know what I'm saying? At least a full size bed, maybe. Got a little. I mean, it'd be a little cramped on a full size even, but.
Right.
And get the video ready. Get the video ready. So it says many people spend so much of their lives on autopilot that they never really stop and find out what they truly or who they truly are. Put up the video.
Damn, I'm not gonna get to all these other scriptures I got.
No, not that one.
Visceral fact.
Which one you want?
That one.
You
Yeah.
see-
Yeah. Yeah. Full screen it. Right.
Autopilot, right?
Coming to bed, honey?
Yes, dear.
Autopilot, right?
Autopilot.
Work, traffic, home, right? Gotcha. Do I have another slide that I wanted to go over? We did that one. Okay, there you go. Oh, I guess we did do all 5. Go ahead.
Number 5. What are you not willing to struggle for?
Hey, so just what you need to know what you're willing to struggle for. You need to know what, and this all really kind of falls under non-negotiables, right? To some extent. Come on.
It's absolutely necessary to know what things are not worth the pain. You'll never even get close to being able to solve all your problems, much less enjoy your life, if you waste all your effort on bullshit. Certainly, there will be aspects of life that don't go as well as we hope they would, and things that are tough to digest. But how easily you bounce back from these setbacks depends entirely on what's really worth your time and energy.
Right, and that's what that question means. What are you not willing to struggle for, right? What is not worth your time and energy?
Right.
And those 5 things will kind of help you formulate your non-negotiables, all right? Oh, that's another one. That's a joke. Go ahead, put that one. The one a woman laughs during an argument.
Oh, that one was good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can show your faha thing, and then we'll show the scarcity, and then we'll move on.
So you got it.
Oh no, I had a couple other ones I posted.
you have some good stuff. You had 1, 2, 3.
Go ahead. How come you don't have the faha? He wants to show the faha.
Oh, you want to do faja? I thought we
Do
were
the
going to do
faja.
the other one first.
No, do the faja.
Okay, let's do the faja. I thought we were going to do the image of about the
argument. Oh yeah, you could do that after. They're taking too long. They had the faja ready.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, this is your video, so you explain this.
It was just the faja.
Oh, all right.
Oh gosh, I saw this throughout the week. I was like, what in the hell, bro?
Where you see his face.
Yo. Oh gosh.
Hell no.
Yeah, look what he did.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Hey, as I'm looking at it, I'm saying, what are you willing to struggle for?
Right.
You want to keep the stomach and do this every time you get ready to go out?
Oh, stop.
And then the deception in the wedding chamber.
Right.
Yo, he's pushing that thing in there, bro.
Bruh, they are going through great lengths.
Bro, it's like a 5-minute video, bro.
Wait, it's almost done. It's almost done. It's almost done. Oh, stop. Look.
That's crazy.
Oh snap.
Come on, man.
You'll do that every day for the rest of your life instead of just trying to put a plan in place. Hey, and guess what? I understand. No, put it down. Put it down. Show it. I'll say it after. Put it.
Yo, that guy's a professional.
See the end result. He is a professional, bro. He got that thing in lovely.
Yo, he's a professional, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Oh, you see how he's doing it? He's like,
Oh my lord.
That's it.
You see.
He's gonna start tucking.
That's crazy.
I even forgot what I was gonna say. Looking at that, bro. Bro, that's night and day, bro.
Facts.
And then you think she big bone.
And then you get
And then you think she big bone, bro.
Emotional damage.
Oh my
find a picture of a big
goodness.
bone sister.
Wow.
And this is what I wanted to say.
Oh snap.
And I get it, right? There might be outlying things, right? Maybe it's not a discipline thing. Maybe you have other factors, right? I know women have different hormonal things. But then go get checked out and get the help. You know, they talk about medical weight loss, and I don't mean surgery, but maybe if you improve other health factors, if you get your hormones in balance or whatever it is, I mean, you got to do blood work at the end of the day, right? And do that sort of stuff. You'll try every damn internet fad, every freaking meme, every lemon juice, celery cleanse, and everything that you won't stick with, that you know you ain't got the discipline for, and that may not even really work, right? Then why don't you find out if you really have an issue? I have a slow metabolism. How do you know you have a slow metabolism? Did you go get your metabolism tested?
But you know, we be self-diagnosing some stuff.
Well, we hella self-diagnosed.
Dr. Google.
Everybody's a freaking doctor.
You go on and read the symptoms. You know what it sounds like? This is what it could be.
Right, thyroids. Did you go get your thyroid checked?
Right.
What's your T3 and T4 levels? Right?
Dr. Google said.
What does it say? It's my genetics. How do you know that? Did you go get it checked?
Right.
Hey, I ask my wife all the time, when you look on Google and they say you're supposed to be dead, what you gonna do?
Right. Right. Imagine the relief after she takes that off. Hey, well, that's the cost that some sisters will do, but not the other stuff. And all you're doing is squishing all your organs in,
That's it.
putting all that pressure on your bladder, your uterus, your freaking liver, your spleen, crushing your lungs, everything.
Imagine that don't come off.
You sitting down, and you know when you sit, everything kind of collapses on it. So, you know, standing up, I look kind of svelte. You know, I sit down and I get a little bit of a muffin top myself, but, you know.
Imagine a nice meal.
Right. Imagine when you eat and you need a little room after you eat.
Right.
That thing could snap and kill someone. Someone said that thing could snap and kill somebody. Oh man. Nah, I ain't playing this. We moving on.
Wait, that reminded me of a Shrek. When
Show
they're
the joke
like
with the other thing. Show the joke with the other thing.
Imagine you don't even get that off till after marriage. You know, sign the papers.
The argument thing.
The argument one.
They so confused.
Siganme and I was trying to read it.
Come on, bro. I had them in order.
It's right there. Yep. No, you're going too quick.
No, it's not that one. They have the politeness one. That's old.
Oh.
I literally posted it today, I think. Nope, that's not it either. Oh, you guys are the worst. Go ahead, put the ones. Wives, you have 100%. Is that there? Do you have that one? Let's talk about that one again. Nope.
I just posted on Telegram. Breathe. It's okay. We're going to get through this. It's on Telegram. I put this one. All right. It's right there. Breathe.
IT been getting it lately.
We're going to be good. We're going to be all right.
Oh, my goodness.
Just breathe.
The waters are rising.
There we go. All praises. See? Once we breathe and be calm and chill.
And then also to eat off his plate on the first day. Not the type of sister you want.
No, that's non-negotiable.
Oh, go ahead. Read that.
When a woman laughs during an argument, please know that the psycho part of her brain has been activated. Abort mission.
Very true.
She laughed during the argument. You better end the conversation right there for now. That's it. Hey, give me the other one. Wives, you have 100% control over 50% of your marriage. I want to show you. I know we said, right, no 50-50.
Right.
I'm going to show you the 50-50, though. Go ahead.
Wives, you have 100% control over 50% of your marriage.
Going back to self. In other words, I've said this, that you as a wife have things that are required of you in the Bible, regardless of what your husband's like and doing. And just like the husband has things that he has to do to show himself approved to God as a husband, regardless of what's going on with the wife, right? So wives, you have 100% control over 50% of your marriage. Come on.
Work on your 100%, which is you, before you ask your husband to work on his 50.
Right, and I'll give you an example. I come to you to talk to you about issues that I see with you, that as your head, as your guide, to try to build you up, and you want to start now pointing out all the things in me. That's not the time for all of it. Why you got to bring that up when I'm dealing with you?
Right.
Why don't you open that dialogue another time if there's something you had aught with me? You have 100% control. Work on you. Make sure you're right. Make sure you're blameless before you come try to bring something my way.
Deflection is deception.
Right. Damn,
yeah.
That big bone one was funny, bro. You had Tobias. Oh, what about the other one? Don't go out with a girl like this.
Yep.
Look, eat off his plate the first date.
That was today.
That was today, too.
I just posted, let's breathe. We're almost there.
Oh, my goodness.
We're almost there.
It's
like a Twitter image. Come on.
Come on, yo.
Right there.
Come on, man. Go ahead, read that.
Eat off his plate on the first date to establish dominance.
Now look at the reply.
Look at the reply.
Leave her with the bill to establish consequences.
Oh my goodness.
Judgment.
Right. So you see these tactics that they got going on out there. You see these tactics.
That's crazy.
Let's get. Did we do these ones? Check the Telegram. The one that says, oh snap, where'd it go? It says, don't take everything personal.
Don't take everything personally. Not everyone thinks about you.
No. Save that.
Yeah, okay. What about the other one?
No,
about the job? Okay.
No, save. Oh, no, you can put the job one. You can read that one.
And then, okay, we just went over the yep.
One.
Next one. It was right under that one.
You can read the job one. Yep. So, right, this goes back to kind of thinking about the importance of the life partner that you're picking and stuff like that, right? Think about this.
You are replaceable at your job. Your money is just digits on a screen. Your favorite sports team doesn't care about
For you sports fanatics that can't let go of that stuff. Some of you is freaking
die hard.
Oh my goodness. Still, you try to act like you casual about it, but you still all up in the sports.
Stats.
And it's not sinful, but you got to think of where your energies lie.
Right.
You know, where's your energies go? Some brothers, their energies are into pornography. Some are into sports. Some are into video games. You got to think of where your energy is. Well, what you do most of the time is who you really are.
Right.
Or a combination of the three.
Yeah, sometimes it's a combination of the three with some brothers, right? Come on.
Your car is an overpriced bunch of parts. Your family is the most real and the most important thing in your life. Make sure to prioritize it that way.
Right, because you got some people that they're all focused on these other things, these external factors. You got to understand that those are agents of socialization. Those are things that are trying to condition you to the norms of this world. They want you to conform to this world. The scripture tells you in Romans 12, be not conformed to this world, right?
Right.
but be renewed, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then people still wilding over that la faja.
La faja, you
People
damn
still-
bro.
People still wilding over
Just
the
I
faja.
was the same way when I saw that thing. I said, bro, this guy is a professional, bro. What the hell? Yo, that thing was funny, bro.
Right.
So you want to go over to the scarcity?
That's what. Yes. So let's wrap with the scarcity. As far as this, and then we're gonna move into the beginning of the building of godly men. I'm probably not gonna get through all my scriptures, but maybe you will. I'll see how it goes. Let's show that scarcity video.
You can do all things through the Lord Christ, bro.
Yeah, we'll see. What time did we start? Because we had the delay.
Like 7:10. I'm sorry,
7:10.
7:10.
All right, so we got about 4 minutes.
7:10.
I was gonna say 7:05, bro.
7:10. 7:10.
Emotional damage.
Oh, Daniel posted it. Yep, that one.
Damn, someone said it's not the airbag that'll kill you, but her gut. Damn.
I just visualized that shit.
Look, and I just want to say something. I'm bringing it out because we want you to be healthy. We want you to, I don't want to just say it and we trying to, you fat shaming me or whatever. Mm-hmm. Listen, you ain't right. You wouldn't wear the faja if you thought it was fine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't wear la faja if you thought it was fine. Mm-hmm. You know it ain't right. You know you feel a way about it. So why don't you address it instead? Right? Why don't you address it instead of putting a Band-Aid on it?
Right.
Like most things. We seek to do. So last thing here, the brother's gonna talk about a scarcity mindset. He gonna talk mainly to you brothers,
right.
But this can also apply to you sisters too. And don't think like somebody's like the last bottle of water in the desert or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like meaning. Remember that I saved this for last because if you know what your non-negotiables are, if you know what those 5 things are, and you've examined yourself, you won't have a scarcity mindset. And don't go into a marriage with a scarcity mindset. And this is what I tell brothers lately, because I don't really talk to sisters too much about this, but I talk to the brothers, when we chatting and stuff. And I say, if you find yourself kind of doing your pros and cons, and you see that you're kind of settling on your non-negotiables, that's probably not the person that you need to be moving for. And don't think because of, I think like if you have to go to a pro and con list, then you're not doing it right. You should know where you are, what your non-negotiables are, what you want to struggle for, what you don't. You've done the proving the right way. You've proved them as a friend. You've seen the things that you need to see. And you make your decision based on that. I think if you have to enter in your head that you're doing a list of, where you're starting to overlook things, then that's not really the right way to go about it. Not when dealing with people in marriage and relationships.
Or you can tolerate things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, play this.
You get too excited and caught up in the hype when you meet a woman that you like. Because as men, what happens is we meet this woman, maybe she's so fine, she's so this, whatever. And even more specifically, we sometimes have this mindset of, I won't find nothing like this ever again.
Stop.
And once you think...
That's the scarcity mindset. And you start to say, all right, I noticed this red flag. I noticed this. I'm not really crazy about this. I'm getting older. I have goals. I want to have a family. I want to do these things. And it'll force you into a decision with somebody that it doesn't have to be. It shouldn't feel forced. You shouldn't make a decision based on those type of factors. Thinking that, well, I might not meet somebody that has this much good things that I was looking for. And I'm not saying, again, there's a fine line between knowing where you stand and thinking that you're not going to find what you remember. The Most High, if you're doing it the right way, He's going to present the right person to you, right? And you don't really got to overthink it. That's why I say if it really starts with you, and if you know where you're at, and you know where you stand, and you know what your non-negotiables are, and what your values are, what you're going to struggle for, what you're not going to struggle for, you've spent the right amount of time to kind of filter through the representative, asked enough of the questions, in that regard, then it doesn't even need to be that complex of a decision. I think if you're pondering it too much, that should be a sign in and of itself that maybe this isn't the person. And then you got to try to find out why. Right? But go ahead.
Like that, you start now having blinders on for the nonsense you do see.
Stop. So that's what winds up happening when you start saying that. And this is what I'm saying. You'll sit there, you'll make a list. Oh, they have this, but they don't have that. And they have all this stuff. And, maybe I'm not going to find somebody else that's like that, And then now you put the blinders on to all the things that are there. Go ahead. Come on.
Red flags come up, you're making excuses for them. Like, we've all seen homeboys where they fell so in love. We know this chick ain't good for him. We know there's some problems, but he ain't hearing it because he's so blinded by his own desire and getting caught up in the hype and being afraid that he will not find this again. So that scarcity mindset is what messes a lot of dudes up. Once you're able to shift to, listen, if I found one, I can find another. Or, in my eyes, I always view it as, if this ain't gonna work out, that means God got something better for me. So I'm not gonna stress it. You know what I'm saying? That allows you to not get clouded judgment and go all crazy and start to lose sight of what's important.
Right. So that's the thing. You don't want to lose sight of what's important because of that scarcity mindset. And he says what happens is you start to focus on your own desires above anything else. Let me get my notes here so I can go over that. My wife just sent me a text because it's a Spanish saying, like the last Coca-Cola in the desert is what you say. But I know people might not get that because that's why I said water. It's the desert water. I think most people will get it that way. She's laughing at me. She said the last Coca-Cola. I know that is Coca-Cola, hun. But a lot of people might not get the analogy, the last Coca-Cola in the desert. The last bottle of water, I think most people get that.
Right.
Thirsty, you out there, right? The last Coca-Cola.
We know Issachar, Northern Kingdom. Like down in Mexico, they be on the Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's that good Coca-Cola. That's that pure sugar Coca-Cola.
There's like a epidemic out there for people dying off Coca-Cola and diabetes and
really?
Yeah, and they still do it. And even the government has said ban Coca-Cola from this specific city place. I don't
really?
remember. Yes, bro.
Why?
Because it's just they don't have limits to it. So like it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast for everything. And then people just
for like their health, they're trying to ban it.
Yes, people are getting their legs chopped off because of like diabetes. Certain people.
Yeah, but that's not just Coke that does that.
No, but they do Coke like all
yeah, but
the
that's
time.
not that's.
Bro, I'm gonna find it.
But I know what you're saying.
No, I'm just kidding.
But like usually people who that's all they drink, the rest of their eating habits are probably bad too.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
But what he's saying, I think I've seen a video on it where that city that's like it's predominantly what's causing it.
Yes.
I've seen it.
It's just Coca-Cola, bro. Like it's bro, even the government says stop.
It's like
it's sugar water.
They got an IV hooked up to their arm and they just like
it's sugar water.
Hey, somebody said last Modelo in the desert.
The last Modelo, yeah, that's your thing.
If
that's your thing, the last Modelo, right? Right. So insert whatever beverage you would want after being in the desert. All right.
Sister Youre, thank you.
Hey, and that don't even mean that makes you appealing. I think the saying's kind of stupid if you really analyze it. Because if you're the last, then it's the scarcity mindset.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's the last
Not
one.
the last. Right?
Right.
I'd rather that there's a whole bunch of them, and I identify the one that's the prize. You know what I'm saying?
So you sift through it to find
to find a good one.
Which one is the Coca-Cola?
Right. The one that you're gonna have that bond with. Which one is the right one?
Right.
You know that is gonna hit. If you're the last one, then that means it don't matter. It could be warm. It could be flat.
I'll take it.
Nothing better than flat, right? Nothing worse than flat soda.
I can't do it.
Right? Yeah. It could be flat. You're gonna do it. I actually think it's a saying that don't make sense. It's a scarcity mindset.
Right.
Because if you're the last one, right? I'm just going to do it. So.
Sorry.
All right. So, I want to talk about consistency. What did I type about consistency? So, we're going to start shifting back to the men, right? We were dealing with the hard times create strong men, right? And good times create weak men. And society, by and large, we're living in an age of decadence, right? We're living in an age of...
Bro, they even worship the damn Coca-Cola. I'm sorry.
People being lovers of their own selves, right? Let me read what I put, right? So we have to focus on being consistent in this walk and constantly working to building ourselves up.
Yes.
All right? That's key, okay? Let me get that in Jude, right? Building up yourselves.
Yes, sir.
All right? Let's talk about that real quick.
And I'll be able to get to that question I had about the consistency you were going into.
Okay.
All praises.
Go ahead. Read this in Jude, all right?
The book
Because this is what the scriptures tell us. No, we're not going to watch about the deadly addiction. Save that for the health show.
Yeah. I want to put it up there because I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
But
Post it and save it for the health
It is
show.
addiction of Coca-Cola in Mexico.
The book of Jude, verse 20. But ye, beloved, building up yourselves on your most holy faith.
Right? So you got to build yourselves up on your faith, right? And your faith is something that's highly individual, right? The scripture talks about every man is given the measure of his own faith, right? So whatever you're given, whatever portion you have, you're supposed to build with that, right? You build it, not others build it for you. You build it, right? And that starts with a measure of consistency in yourself. Is that it in that verse?
No, sir.
Go ahead, come on.
Praying in the Holy Ghost.
Right, and praying in the Holy Ghost. Sometimes that means you don't know what you're praying for, right? You read that in Romans where it says, the Holy Spirit maketh intercession for us because we don't know what we're praying for. But if you lean on the measure of faith that you have, you'll be able to build yourself up. But you must be consistent in that, right? The foundation for all building, because like I said, over these next few classes, perhaps, we're going to talk about men being built up. And like I said, some of this, sisters, you can take some of this for yourselves as well. But I'm primarily focused on the men in this. So I wrote this out in thinking about this, right? So we must focus on being consistent in this walk and constantly working to building ourselves up. Just like I've never been keen of people who say I repented. That presumes it's one and done, right? It's repenting, right? Because you have to endure until the end, right? You die in this walk and you're sealed, right? Or until Christ returns, right? And you see that in your flesh, okay? So you don't build yourselves once. You constantly building yourselves up, right? Into the fullness and measure and the stature of Christ. So consistency doesn't care about your feelings. That's a big one.
That's heavy.
Because here we were dealing with a lot of it was like a rash of brothers all in their feelings.
Yellow makes me sad.
Yes, yellow Power Rangers, and I say yellow Power Rangers because they think they're ready for the battle.
Right.
But they just yellow. They just yellow.
Emotional damage.
Right.
It's just emotion.
So consistency doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care. All these brothers were talking about what they felt. It doesn't care about your feelings, right? Consistency is hard. This is why feelings can be involved. Consistency is hard because consistency is augmented by discipline. And discipline is difficult to maintain always. In order to maintain discipline, you have to know what you're willing to struggle for. And for people who cannot maintain consistency in building themselves up in this walk, it's because they haven't really counted the cost of what this really means. They don't realize that we're at war. They don't realize that not everybody's going to attain the same level in this.
That we're going to get put to death for this.
That you're going to get put to death for this. That people are going to betray. When the stuff comes out about those of our own betraying us, many of us sit there and we don't realize that could be you. You could be the betrayer. Did you think Judas knew from the beginning that he would betray him? No. That's why I say everybody has a price. You just don't know what it is till that price is presented to you. So you could say, yeah, I've been through so much. Things have been put in front of me. But when that price is presented to you, in that moment is when you're going to know.
Yeah, we see you and it's like, yeah, strong in the Lord and the power is might.
Yeah, everybody, it's mine. I'm like,
man.
It sounds nice.
Right.
But then your actions show different.
It sounds nice. Consistency is hard. Consistency is time consuming. That's why you got to know what you want to struggle for. It's time consuming.
Your energy.
That's
right?
heavy. That's heavy.
Give me that be in pain and labor to bring forth.
Yes, sir.
I remember
consistency
I was
is
thinking
time
about
consuming.
This, you said there's some brother here in this camp that has said, how do you know when you are laboring in pain?
I'll never forget that. That was years ago. I'll never forget that.
And I was meditating on that this year. This week. And you know what my answer that I think about it now would have been like, when you know that you love this so much that you're like, you don't care how much sleep you lose, that you're ready to get back at it again tomorrow. That you're ready to do what you got to do for the world, and then you come back and you're ready to hit the ground again.
That you don't compromise this for the other things that you're doing.
That the strength of the Lord, that the joy of the Lord is your strength.
Yes.
That's when you know
That's when you know.
That's when you know that you're
That's
laboring in
when
pain.
you know. That should have been a bomb for that. That the joy of the Lord is your strength.
And that you're tired, bro.
There we go.
There we
You're
go.
sleepy, you're tired, but you're ready to go hit it hard again.
Yeah.
You come back and you're ready to...
The same way you simp after a woman in those things.
Right.
Right? You lose sleep and all that, staying up, talking on the phone. Right? All that googly stuff and all of that, right?
Far distant memory.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But go ahead, read that real quick.
The book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 10.
Bring it out.
Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail.
Right. Meaning that sometimes it's going to be okay in between the contractions, and other times you're going to feel so much pressure to maintain your dedication to the Father's business with everything else that's going on.
Under pressure.
And I'm not saying that you let those other things fail and you put yourself into diverse issues, but you find a way. You find a way to do what needs to get done. And if that means sleepless nights, if that means struggles in scheduling or whatever it is, you find a way. You find a way. But that thing, it's hard and it's time consuming, and not everybody's built for that. They'll do it for a season, they'll do it for a little while. Those of us in this walk that the Most High has seen fit to do something with, and I say rank because that's the level of symbolism of servitude, right? He who is great among you will be servant to all. Bishops, deacons, captains, right? And there's degrees to it, even as you go down into soldiers and all the way up. These are people that have that spirit that Christ had. Get me that way. He says, no greater love is there than he who laid down his life, because what that really deals is with selflessness.
Right.
Yes, quite literally, it deals with, he was speaking of himself. You know, like, I'm about to lay down my life for y'all. But you don't have to do an act like that to show that type of love. You just have to be willing to be about the Father's business to that degree. You know what I'm talking about? Where
I
it is?
do, but I thought I don't know. Is it 1 John or St. John?
No, it's in the gospel.
I thought it was St. John.
Which one again?
John 15:13.
That's where it was at. The book of John, chapter 15 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
Right. And, you know, you'll have these nut jobs that they don't know you from a hole in the wall. Talking about, man, I'll die for you.
Right.
Words. Talk. Right. Doesn't really mean much to me. Because I see what your daily actions are like. How you going to tell me you're going to take a bullet from me, but you can't even be present?
Or consistent in
you
the
can't
body.
even be consistent. You can't even be consistent with yourself. Right? And then you can't even take accountability within yourself as to what you can control, what you can move through. That's a weak man. Strong men, right? It says hard times create strong men, right? And then there's brothers that just want good times. God's looking for strong men. He's looking for acceptable men that are tried in the furnace. So consistency is time consuming. This is why I said be in pain and labor to bring forth. Hold on. All right, I want to finish this here and then I'll let you go with it. And we'll bring some scriptures about it in a moment. Consistency is prone to criticism. Meaning somebody on some side is going to have an issue with it. That's why I say on both sides, right? Because you're always consistent. I don't think inconsistent is really applicable unless you're giving context to it. You can be consistent in being slothful, lazy, emotional, right? Or you can be consistent in being diligent, disciplined, providing meaningful displays of reasonable service to the Most High.
Right.
Showing your faith by your works. I could tell when a brother has weak faith because their works are lacking.
Right.
And the works is not that there's a way that you show your diligence. There's a way that you show it. If your office is toilet cleaning, then them toilets is always clean. Them toilets is shining. It's like when I was in the military and I was on latrine duty. I wasn't the latrine queen. That's what they call in basic training. There was somebody else who was the latrine queen, but I was on the team. And I remember my thing was to we had stainless steel doors. and they had to be polished, no smudges, nothing on them. And my thing was figuring out the best way. I took pride in doing that. Somebody is a pain in the ass. There's no pride in it. It's, oh, look at me doing menial work.
Right.
That was one of my offices in basic training. But I remember you run into like a flight. In the Air Force, they call it flight. It was a platoon if you're in the Marine Corps or whatever. You would run into flights that were a few weeks ahead of you, and you would get an opportunity to maybe speak here and there, and they'd be like, oh yeah, you're on latrine duty. Oh, let me give you some tips, right? I remember they told me, look, when you go to the commissary, get a little thing of baby oil, all right, and they said get some Q-tips, and they say you're gonna be able to go into the holes and take out all the little dust, because that's the level of stuff they would look at in people as they built you up in there, all right. And I remember I went out of my own money, I bought my little baby oil and stuff like that, and that's how I would keep my they was never finding anything on my free. And what was cool about the baby oil on the stainless steel doors, that if it did get a smudge, all you had to do was wipe, and the smudge came right off. And then I had a little Q-tip, and I would go into the in between where the screws and the hinges and stuff are, and you would do all that stuff. And you did it not grudgingly. You did it like that was your thing. You wanted that drill instructor to come in, right? And well, we call them TIs, technical instructors. You wanted or training instructors. You wanted them to come in with the flashlight and see all that, and that they didn't find no dust, they didn't find nothing like that. You know, that's the type of stuff that you took pride in.
Bro, that's the level of Esau's army. But then when we come behind brothers for the stuff, then here it's like. No. The Lord's army, we can't 10 times more.
No,
that's man.
And that was and right. So right, and that's like a righteous pride when you do it for stuff like this. But then that's why I say consistency is hard, it's time consuming, and it's gonna be prone to criticism, but it's worth it. It's worth it because of what the Father has in store for you.
Those brothers who say they want to be the doorman in the kingdom, you got to show consistency here.
Right. But people, those are people that's fake to me. That's fake dedication. That's fake devotion. That you feel like you can only be seen if you have certain types of offices and certain positions. It's not like that, and we're gonna go over that. All right. What's what we have time? I got like 20 minutes. We'll see how far we get. But if not today, we're gonna build. We're gonna build on it.
Can you expand a little more on the both sides? So that was my question. Is prone to criticism on both
sides.
Right.
Well, so this goes back to So I lost my thought for a second. This goes back to the consistency. On both sides. So let's just say you're talking about dealing with hearing the body and with the Most High. Your lack of consistency will be criticized here, right? And your lack of consistency means that you're being consistent somewhere else. And then, so that might mean you're trying to prop up your job. Remember, I gave the example of your job doesn't care, right? Your car is just a bunch of parts. Right. And nobody's saying that you lose your job over this stuff or anything like that. I do talk about how I quit my job when they wouldn't let me move to Cuba, but I didn't do that without provisions. I didn't just say I'm walking out. They didn't want to give me the time to go to Cuba. I knew that was a big trip. And I said I knew they weren't going to do it. And I said, okay, this means I got to start looking for something else. And I lined up another job before I quit that I was going to start when I got back from Cuba.
Right.
But I said I'm not going to let that mess me up. That's me. I'm not saying quit your job to go travel, brothers, and then you and Divers or Deacon said quit your job. I put things in place because I knew I can't just quit my job. I had kids. I had a family. You know what I'm saying? I can't, and I'm in a leadership position. I can't be jobless, right? You know, in that sort of situation. But I said, hey, I want to go. They're telling me no. I'm not going to miss this trip.
Said let go and let God.
I was the one that was coordinating the trip. No, but I was looking for another job. Feverishly. I was looking for another job that would allow me to be in the position that I could be in to, you know.
The faith had works.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's just one example. But when I say it's on both sides, you're consistent in something. So when you're not consistent in other things, you're going to get criticized and say, you know, oh, you're over here spending all your time on that. You're inconsistent here. Yeah. But what I'm telling you is that doesn't mean it has to be that way. You find a way
to do all of it. I hear you
better.
say that all the time.
It's like that what's that thing with Kobe and Kanye? He's like, be more. Be the same beast but a different animal. More. What do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean, Kobe Bryant?
Exactly.
More. Exactly. Right? You know what I'm talking about?
Welcome.
That clip? It's hilarious. Yep. It's hilarious. See if you find that clip, bro. That thing is hilarious. He's like, be more. Be more. And then that's the be in pain. And brothers be getting frustrated when you tell them that. It's like, I shouldn't have to tell you that. those of us who the Most High has seen fit to move into a position of greater service, that's what it means as you move up in rank of greater service. It's people who have made that type of sacrifice. That it, yeah, bro. That thing is. He does it as a joke, but basically, this is kind of what you got to do.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I think he curses at the end. So in case you're worried or you're sensitive to that, all right, go ahead.
How much more do you want from me?
More.
How much more successful do you want me to be?
More successful.
How many records can my records break?
More records.
Stop. So, meaning even when you're doing good,
Right.
more.
Right.
Seek them 10 times more. As it was your way to go astray, you seek them 10 times more.
That's heavy.
You don't balance your life around this. This is your life. This is your profession. You moonlight as everything else. Go ahead, come on.
But I'm the best.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome.
I love that clip, bro. I love that clip. More.
Bro, that reminds me of
But I did this and I did that.
Right.
More.
That's heavy. Sirach, it says, when you glorify the Lord, put forth all your strength.
All your strength.
Because you can never go far enough.
Right. And what's the other one in the New Testament? It talks about in everything you do, do it with all your might.
Right. Yes,
because
sir.
there's no reward or nothing in the grave.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It says, whatever you do, do it as unto the Lord. Do it as unto the Lord. More. But I'm successful. I'm this. Different animal in the same beast. Right, because why? Meaning you got to continue to uncover the multitude of gifts the Most God got in you. That's how I look at it.
You got to pull it all out.
You got to pull it all out.
That's crazy.
Pull it all out.
That's crazy.
And sometimes you don't even know it might be there. And if that means you're gonna be the doorman, you're gonna be the best damn doorman there is, and you never gonna complain about it.
You
Right?
never hear any of our forefathers talk about their limits.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope. Didn't say why I'm in this office, why am I not in that office. Your spirit ain't right.
Right.
And if you can't see that, then none of us are gonna be able to help you, no matter what we do or don't do.
That's facts.
Your spirit ain't right in that regard. Somebody made a comment how I'll be putting my hand on the mic. I know you be doing it too.
I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know.
I know Northern Kingdom very animated with the hands and stuff like that.
Very.
That's how we speak and stuff like that. All right, let me get 2 Timothy 3:1.
Oh man.
Hey, deep brother Ephraim called in as he always does. He just wanted to give a shout out.
All right.
Hey,
okay.
shalom, Most High Christ, bless
Most
brother
High
Ephraim.
Christ bless Ephraim. 2 Timothy 3:1.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
And we in those last days, brothers and sisters, perilous times are here, right? And just like Bishop had brought out recently one of his classes, it's like the contractions of a woman, right? And they get closer and closer, but meaning that there might be time of peace in between, right? Remember, nobody knows the hour and things like that, but you'll know you're closer by things that are happening in the earth.
Right.
But closer in God's time could mean 50, could mean 100 years. I mean,
He said we're in the 11th
we don't really know.
hour.
We can speculate. Somebody could say, yeah, maybe I think it's 30 years, maybe I think it's 50, right? But we really don't know. Right? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
But notice what he's saying. He says that in the last days, perilous times shall come. And then he says for men, meaning that because of this, times will be increasingly perilous. Because people will be lovers of their own selves. It's like the brother that spoke about the scarcity mindset and how you put blinders to everything else. Now I'm going to switch that scarcity mindset and just focus on that part. He said because of your own desires. And when your own desires are stronger than realizing that anything we do is just our reasonable service to God. Get me that where it says all our righteousness is a filthy rag?
Filthy rag.
Damn. Right? When no matter how good we do, compared to what we really deserve,
right,
it's a filthy rag to the Most High. This the Kobe Bryant thing. He said more. How much more you want?
Right.
More. That's what God is saying. More.
It hurts.
It hurts. More. That's why we want more. Go ahead. You got it?
Yeah, the book of 60. The book of Isaiah 64.
The book of 64. The book of 64.
Making fun of me because I said 10, 5010, whatever.
Come on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 64, verse 6. For we are all as an unclean thing.
Right. He says, We're all, no matter what you do. No, that's why the scripture says also, you should not think more highly of yourself than you ought to. You were always supposed to be doing this. This was the covenant that we agreed to with Moses in the wilderness.
Right.
So just because you coming back to it, don't think you something extra. All right? Yes, you're better. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. But all of it is unclean. Come on.
And all our righteousnesses are as filthy rags.
Right. It says it's as filthy rags. That puts some stuff into perspective for those that like to walk around. Give me the one in 1 John where it says, "He say I have no sin, he deceiveth his own self." Because you got brothers and sisters amongst us that think that they have no ought in them. You are walking in a pharisaical spirit. You're walking like a Pharisee. You must be. I think is it 1 John like 1:8 or something like that? Am I off?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay, 1 John 1:8.
The book of 1 John, chapter 1 and verse 8. And we say that we have no sin. We deceive ourselves.
You deceive your own self if you say that. And not a lot of people can walk around and admit that they're sinners. Admit that they deal with sin.
We read it.
It goes back to that parable.
We read it.
With the publican and the Pharisee.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my point, is that we all need to have that present. And that's what it really means when it says our righteousness is a filthy rag. Right? So going back to 1 Timothy 3, read this again. It's verse 2.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3. 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 2.
Come on.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Right, so you're going back to the video now, the desires. Your own desires puts on blinders to everything else. And you think that you're here for righteousness' sake. You think that you're here for the Lord. But you're not. And if you can't see it, like I said, those of us who have, by reason of use, by exercise of use, can be able to discern between good and evil, we see through that. I think Bishop actually even said it a while back when I think we were all in New York, and he was going over that stuff about the righteous never die. And he took a little aside, and he mentioned how I think Deacon Isaac and myself were still only maybe a month or two promoted. And he was saying, we never asked for anything. We never asked for an office. We never asked for more attention. We asked for counsel. We asked for advice in our lives and for scriptures. We never asked to take a test. Our names, we didn't even know when our names were being called. And all we did was work feverishly on ourselves and focus on contributing. And those type of, and I'm not saying he and I are the only brothers that are like that, but those are the type of brothers that stand out amongst the multitude. That they're never seeking the reward, they're never seeking the acknowledgement, they're never seeking the recognition, because they're driven by something more. This is part of the building up yourself on your holy faith. Let's not forget how we started in Jude. And I hate that I'm going to have to cut this short because I'm going to have to run it back to build the thought again next week. But you build yourself up in that, and you focus, and you put your nose down to the grindstone, and God will give good things to you. God will give good things to you. And you might not feel it at the soldier level. You might not feel it at the officer of 10, maybe not even at the officer of 20, but you start to move up. And when more is required of you, is it Luke 11:48? To whom much is given, much is required? Or is it 12?
It's Luke 11. No, wait, I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm totally off. I know it's Luke.
It's Luke. I'm not the Percepticon no more.
You're not the Precepticon? I've never
not
been
no
a
more.
Precepticon.
I was really good when I was a soldier.
My brain is all over the place.
It's 16.
It's 16.
You want he that's faithful in that which is least?
No, that's not it.
Oh.
Team brother, come
My
on,
bad.
man.
Hold on.
What was say it again, Deacon?
Espérate. Now you guys got me messed up. It's 12:48. I was right. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
You see, I give y'all too much credit because I know I don't quote that good.
I just said it. I lost it.
Come on, man.
So it's 12:48. It's not the first sentence in the verse, but after that. Come on.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 12 and verse 48. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes.
That goes into like, though he wist it not, in the Old Testament, you'll still pay for the sins, right? But come on.
For unto whomsoever much is given.
Unto whomsoever much is given, come on.
Of him shall be much required.
That's always been my mindset whenever my name's been called. And I tell you, anybody that's of note for their work's sake in this walk, this has been their mindset. All right. This is a scripture that in acknowledging my humility, that I'm just a man, that I'm just a servant, I reflect on often. As a matter of fact, the brothers and sisters here in Phoenix were so kind when I got back from Passover to honor me with some gifts, and they gave me a little plaque, and this verse was on there. Because this is one of the verses that I try to hold true to myself. Because knowledge do puffeth up. Position can puff you up if you're not in this for the right things.
Right.
All right. And I always had to remind myself of how awe-inspiring it is to have been called to be of service in this stuff. And I'm saying that, and a lot of times I try not to say a lot of unless I like to talk negatively about myself to show people that there's not a facade here. I think I mentioned before that I speak from a place of experience because I've gone through these struggles, or I've been with people that have gone through these struggles, so I know what it takes. I think I mentioned I'm imperfect, which is why I can speak to these things. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm sitting here and I've never had problems and I've never had trials and I've never endured things. But I also understand that it can put you in a frame of mind where you feel like you're something and you feel like you're more. I mean, that's what happened to the Pharisees. That's what Christ was always warning. Hey, beware of those type of things. That's why he had to emphasize, remember, you're a servant. Right? He who will be great amongst you will be a servant to all. And you also have to realize what you're taking on yourself, right? Can you drink of this cup? Right?
It says that you're supposed to be more humble. Like I think your scripture says, like
Yeah.
the greater thou art,
The greater thou art, the more humble they'll become. If you're in the right spirit. Come on, read.
Verse 48. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more.
So what you don't realize is that when you're saying you want greater offices, when you're saying you want more position, what you're realizing is that you're telling the Most High, I can bear more. Give me more. But then the same people that ask for it are the same ones that they're trying to schedule it, like if it's an extracurricular activity. Like I'm taking dance lessons or piano lessons or self-defense lessons.
Right.
It's not, this is my profession. It's the same people like that clip from the 300 when they meet on the hill before the battle and the Athenians are there and they meet the Spartans. And he says, we brought more men than you. He goes, did you? He goes, you, what are you? I'm a potter. You, I'm a farmer. You, I'm a merchant. Right. He said, Spartans, what is your profession, right? They like, strong in the Lord, the power of his might. We're warriors, basically, right?
Right.
He says, I brought more men than you. I brought more warriors than you. Right?
Yeah.
Because if you do not have that level of conviction, you're not going to move forward when the things get harder, when the struggles get harder. And that's okay. You'll just be in that mixed multitude if you endure till the end. It's possible. You have more time maybe that you got to marinate to build yourself up, right? Or maybe, like the scripture says, in every great house, there's vessels.
Gold, silver,
right?
hay, stone,
right.
precious stones.
And by the trying, right?
Yeah.
Let's get that real quick.
Yes,
Bring that out. I didn't have that written down, but like I said, I'm gonna have to run this all back anyway. I got my whole notes here for us to move forward into that. But you got that?
Yes, sir.
Bring it out.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3 and verse 11. The other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ.
Which is Jesus Christ as his example. That's what we need to build upon, right? And he was a servant to all, to the death. Because no greater love is there, we read in John 15:13, than a man that laid down his life. And what that really tells you is that you have a selfless spirit. That you're not in this for yourself by any means. Which is why I use the example of brothers that they'll never ask for a position. They'll never ask for a promotion. They'll never ask for an office.
90
Because they're
seconds.
not in this for themselves. when you go about asking, you want to go ahead and fulfill your own desires. Instead of leaving it up to the God-given leadership that God has put in front of you to see where you fit. And that's part of building yourself up on your faith. Because if you doubt that they see you and what you stand for, then you're saying that God was wrong to have these men over you to see. And you're saying they're wrong. And what you're really saying is God is wrong. That's what you're saying. And I'm not saying there's bad leaders, but the scripture also says if there are, then suffer righteously. And God will reveal it. So it still goes back to building yourself up on your most holy faith and praying on those things. So it's not that hard. Right? It's simple, right? When you think about it, right?
It is. No matter where you're at, it's all a trial for, that's heavy.
It's all, if you believe in God,
right,
then God gonna make it right.
Right.
You don't gotta do anything.
But it hurts.
But it hurts. But my feelings hurt. I feel so unloved.
That's funny.
Right. So go ahead, read this.
Verse 12. Now if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones.
So he's talking about things here that are precious, that are strong, right? Come on.
Precious stones, wood, hay,
10
stubble.
seconds.
Every man's work shall be made manifest.
He says, every man's work will be made manifest. Meaning some of these things, right?
Will withstand.
Will withstand fire.
It's like
gold,
yeah.
silver. It doesn't burn away, right? It doesn't turn to ash. Precious jewels, right?
Right.
Don't turn to ash, right? Gold, it'll get soft and malleable to be made into what's needed.
Right.
Silver as well. The jewels will resist the heat, right? Diamonds and precious jewels are made under pressure, right? And then what did he say? Hay, stubble, wood.
Right.
Wood, those things turn into ash that gets blown away in the wind. Read on. What, I think
Verse
this is more on
13.
that. Come on.
Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it.
The day shall declare it. Meaning everybody got a day. The ultimate day is the day of the Lord when he's there. But everybody got a day. Day by day, it's declared what your works are made of. Meaning your price will be presented one day. Come on.
Because it shall be revealed by fire.
It will be revealed by fire. The turn up. The turn up will always happen.
And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
And the fire will let you know if it was what was going to resist the heat or succumb to the heat and turn into ash. And that's in every great house. That's in every great house that's present. All right, let's go back to Timothy. I'm going to wrap it up because I do got to go more back into consistency. I had a lot ready, but I took a little longer on those final thoughts. Read it from 1 again. We're going to actually read it down to 5, and then we'll leave it as like a little cliffhanger from there for next week. Come on.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
And that own desire, that thing where you're focused on you and not that selfless spirit, like no greater love than a man that laid down his life. That the acknowledgement, like we read in Luke 12:48, that to whom much is given, much will be required. And to whom much has been entrusted, much more will be asked of him. Right? What comes when you're a lover of yourself, when you're focused on your own desire, is blinders to these things that are going to overtake you. Because the first thing when you're a lover of your own self that he names is what? Come on.
Covetous.
You are covetous. You are covetous for something that God is not ready to ever give you or not give you now. Come on.
Boasters.
You want to be seen of men. You want to boast of where you're at and what you put in. Come on. Proud, and not in good things, but in bad things. Come on.
Blasphemers.
Because what you really are, see, someone thinks you have to openly blaspheme to be a blasphemer. If you are not getting yourself right in these spirits that manifest,
falls right under it.
You falls right under blasphemy. Come on, go ahead.
Disobedient to parents.
Right, well, you have some that are like that. So he's telling you in your last day, you got some of these kids. I've seen in Israel some kids that are terrible. You got little demons running around here, right? Come on.
Unthankful, unholy, without natural affection.
Right, some of us don't lack natural affection. We don't know how to be considerate to others. Come on.
Truce breakers.
Meaning you cannot keep your word. Come on, flaky people. You think that in little flakiness, that's not a big deal. But what that shows is that you're somebody that's not reliable. You can't keep your word.
No consistency.
Right. No consistency in being that.
Right.
Remember what I said about that, right? Come on.
False accusers.
Ooh, and that falls under lying spirit. That goes into the 7 abominations, false accusers. That's a topic I want to do about the 7 abominations. When the Most High says these 6 things, yea, 7 are an abomination unto the God, or the things that God hates, I have a whole thought process for a class I want to give on that. I'm gonna call it the 7 abominations, Lord's will. That's a snazzy title. People get all into that one, but they're gonna think it's a prophetic class and not a one on self-improvement.
They don't know you yet like that.
Right.
Yeah, we know you like
That's
that.
like the focal point of all classes.
Right.
Self-improvement.
Because that's what's gonna get us salvation.
I know.
That's what's gonna get us salvation. And once in a while, I'll jump into that stuff.
Whenever you go into the D stuff, it's like, oh wow,
Yeah, once in a blue moon,
he's
it's like,
feeling good. He's feeling, he's in a good mood.
Remember the shadow of good things?
Yeah,
bro, that was my favorite Day of Atonement class.
Yo.
That thing right there.
Oh,
boy.
that's right. With how
you went into
with the scapegoat.
Yeah.
And everything.
You went to the atonement, the tabernacle. No, it was a new moon, atonement, then tabernacle. all into this
I remember that. I remember that. Sometimes I'm feeling it, and I'll go into it.
Yeah. Hey, we know when it comes, we're like, okay, you know. But then other times, it's just like, all right, take notes.
Yeah.
This is you. This is check your spirit.
Right.
Does this fit you?
Because that's it. That's what we need to focus on. Right. So false accusers. That's bearing false witness. That's dealing falsely. That's a big spirit. Because why? When you're lovers of your own self, your own desires matter more than you defaming somebody else. Right? Go ahead. Come on.
Incontinent.
Right. And false accusers also goes into not having the spirit of charity, which I'll need more time. My plan is to kind of spend a little time on this and go over it. Because you're blinded by your own desires, you start to evil surmise and you assume, right? And that's not a spirit of charity. But go ahead. Come on.
Incontinent.
Incontinence. And that's where we'll spend the focal point of next week's topic. Incontinence is inconsistency. In other words, it's dealing with inconsistency. We'll pull up the definition. My intention is to pull up the definition
lack of
and go in it. Right. Yes.
Lack of self-control.
Right. And that's why I say discipline augments incontinence. So incontinence really means inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
Incontinence is like they'll say that like when you have diarrhea. That's the nice term. I'm incontinent.
That makes sense.
I'm incontinent, right?
Yeah.
Meaning you have you're a lover of your own self. You can't rule your own spirit, right? Go ahead, come on.
Fierce. Despisers of those that are good. Traitors. Heady. High-minded. Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God.
And that doesn't mean just sexual pleasures. That means things that are gratifying to you.
Vainglory.
Right, vainglory,
Sin.
be seen of men, sin. Right, all of it's sin, really. Right, come on.
Sin.
Verse 5. Having a form of godliness.
You're a whited sepulcher. The outside of your cup is clean. You wear fringes and a border of blue. You expect recognition and acknowledgement because you're here on the Sabbath day with your fringes and your beard and your dresses and your head covers and your shaloms. Come on.
But denying the power thereof.
But denying the power thereof, meaning that you think that there's not a God that's going to reveal what you really are and what you're about. Come on.
From such, turn away.
It says from such, turn away, meaning leave those people alone. I remember I had put a quote. It says a leader needs to know when to let go. You were on that 300 class, right?
Yes, sir.
And it was two ways,
we were.
right? Yes, it was. He said, yes, I was there too. Right. That's another one that I'm going to go into, but that I'm saving for a class.
You
That I'm
touched
saving
on
for a
it on the
class.
officer's telegram, and you were
Little
telling,
bit, a little bit I did. But I got a ton more.
But we didn't get the full love like, the 300
Nah,
class.
because that class in 300.
Well, that's supposed to be special for the 300.
Facts.
Yeah, but we're the officers under you under
Invite
Phoenix.
I give it to you. I've
sir.
been going in. What? No, he weren't here, right? When New Moon, didn't I stay
was
there?
there.
You were there. Oh,
I'm
I was up there for like
front
2.5
row
hours
seats,
after class, just going over.
I'm just kidding.
It was only because people wanted to eat that. No, they were gonna dance. That's why we stopped. They were gonna do the
Yeah, they
entertainment.
had to move the chairs. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They started moving
We
stuff.
were going in that night,
Yeah,
bro.
we probably would have kept going.
We
but-
were going
yeah,
in.
no, I give it to y'all sometimes. It depends on y'all though.
Yeah.
Some of y'all just want to dance and drink and stuff like that.
They
so,
still can't get it like 300. Guys.
No. 300 gets a little special extra emphasis on it, a little extra emphasis.
For those out there,
No, but a lot of 300 classes I wind up doing as a fuller class.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not done the same or with the same type of language and personal aspect of it, but you still get the gist of it.
See, so brothers need acceptable men join the 300.
Right.
Get that exclusive access, join the alumni.
Yeah. I love doing the 300. I feel pressure because I wanna give it respect and credence. I know it's an important thing. It's an exclusive thing that we do. But I never want to half-ass it, so to speak. So that's why I feel like, oh gosh, I tell them, hey, give me as much time as possible. I want to schedule it right, because I don't want to be off the cuff. I know I can. A lot of times I'll come into the show and it's off the cuff, and we wind up having a great show. But I don't want to do that. I think it's respectful to be prepared.
Right.
So I want to be respectful to the brothers and make sure I prepare the stuff the right way. But all praise to the Most High. Lord's will, we're gonna continue on with the building of godly men next week. All right. And like I said, it's going to segue into, it starts with consistency, probably be more scripture-based than videos or anything like that. And then, of course, we'll go to, like, excerpts from the book and different things. So, brothers, if during the week y'all start seeing things about building yourself up as men and traits of a man and stuff for videos, we can get that. Just like, because I know all our feeds, they say your algorithms, you're responsible for your algorithm.
Right.
The stuff you watch is what pops up on your feed. So, if a brother's there and a whole bunch of like sexual lewd stuff comes up, that means he's watching that stuff quite a bit.
Right.
But I noticed we all started seeing more stuff when we started watching the clips that I was sending.
Marriage and yeah.
And then everybody's feed started showing up, and that's how those algorithms work. So hopefully we'll start looking for things like that about building men up and things like that, and we can share it.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah, he has some good stuff. He has some good stuff. You know who else I like is good? Goggins is good. No, the Edomite.
Is Jordan something?
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah,
Jordan Peterson. Yeah, he be pretty good with some stuff too.
Is
I
that
like
the guy we went
doing
over
stuff.
with Joe Rogan talking about the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jordan Peterson. He has great stuff on relationships too, but he talks about the individual and men and stuff like that. Yeah,
I
he's
think
pretty on point with that.
He's changed his like what he talks about.
Well, he got in trouble. They tried to cancel him.
They were trying to do him.
Yeah,
I was just
they're trying to do him like Tate.
Yep.
They're trying to do him like Tate because he speaks against he's smart the way he speaks against homosexuality and a lot of that other stuff. Right. He's not as blunt about it, but even in his subtlety, they were trying to get him canceled. But people kept sharing his stuff, same way, kind of like with Tate. So he still has a forum. I think he does a lot more of paid stuff behind a paywall with his website now, versus the free stuff because they kept censoring him.
Got you. Makes sense.
But hopefully we'll see that sort of stuff and we could go through that. But anyway, that's the show. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay in the spirit. Okay. Don't forget. Let's like and subscribe. Eyesight Phoenix. Wow, we went to 15.4.
Yes, I was gonna say
all
that.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High.
Thank y'all for subscribing and being supportive with IUIC Phoenix YouTube page. We have hit 15K, and now we're at like what? 15K 400. Let me look real quick.
15.4.
15.4.
15.4.
Yo,
that's impressive.
Hey,
we appreciate the support,
number,
brothers and sisters.
15.467.
15.467.
15.467. Damn. So wait, so we're already halfway to 16.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, the next goal is 20, right? We're shooting for 20.
Yes, sir.
All right, we need 20K subscribers on IUIC Phoenix.
Brother,
right?
so video team, keep it up. We're
share the links, share all the socials.
Brothers
all right,
and sisters, share. Yeah. Hey, if y'all didn't know, on IUIC Phoenix, we have a playlist for all deacons classes. Hey, y'all have the picture? I think I pulled it. Look at the Daniel. Look into the downloads real quick. Something like that. Look in one of them folders. Brothers and sisters, understand. You have playlists for IUIC Phoenix where Deacon has made a lot of his classes. Of course, also the officers have their classes on there too. And you can go back from when we were at the old school on 19th Avenue. Deacon had a lot of very good classes that I go back to and self-reflect. So, yeah, put it up there like that. You can do that. Go to playlist and then just show it. There you go.
Wow,
and,
so he cataloged them.
Yep,
Yeah.
In the classroom, and I kept teaching, and I'm telling you, in the classrooms, click on the classrooms, because, bro, it's a lot of
did
good
it as
stuff.
a playlist.
Go back and put view full list. Go back. Right there. View full playlist.
Underneath.
Right there, yep. All right, and then exit out of that. So, see, a guide on praying how the sinners let day speak. That's for brothers that are.
Yeah, I think that title, people are sleeping on let day speak, because
let them know. Let them know.
Y'all were into that one. Y'all were like, y'all were amped with that one. It only got 1.9 views.
Let them know.
That was a good topic.
Let them know what that's about.
If I may say so myself, that was a good topic.
It was good.
Going in the wilderness. Yeah, that was right on time.
That was the one I stood up confident. I thought I knew the answer.
Oh, you love the removal of the veil. You know, it's spelled wrong, right? It's V-E.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, V-E.
I got you.
Yeah.
That one was on hold for like years.
Yeah. I think V-A-I-L is like mist.
Okay.
Veil, like the veil on the face, is with an E.
Let's go down. Let's get some older ones. Go down more, bro.
Claiming your godhood.
It's right there. So just go down a little more. There's some that I'm gonna show you guys that are my personal favorite.
I don't even remember.
Let's go down. Let's go down. I'm gonna show you some. Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yawasap was out here. God gives the increase. Very good.
Oh, the baptism one. That actually got a lot of engagement in the comments on that one.
Oh yeah.
Baptism of Christ. All right.
Go down. I'm going to show it right there. Faith misunderstood is a good one.
Comfort of the scriptures. Faith misunderstood. I watched that like out of all the classes that have been done, that's probably one of my favorite classes.
That's a very good one.
It brings a sober thought about how faith is displayed.
Come
like
down.
It's
Go down.
Next level.
Let's go down. I'm going to show you some that are my personal favorites that Growing in Grace is very good too.
Oh, that Hellenism one was popular.
This one right there.
That wasn't even that scripture heavy. That was just more historical. The Jews and Gentiles.
Right.
That's the shadow of a good things to come we were talking about earlier.
Hey, the easy yoke and the light burden. That's when we were
I'm glad that I've been edifying for you.
COVID-19. This one, be ye pilgrims upon the earth. Be like pilgrims. That's a good one. Let's go down. Let's go down. Give me more.
Yeah, I expounded upon that when I did the new moon class about pilgrims. Yeah, I kind of went a little deeper on that.
Hold it. Come up a little more. This is another good one. One more. A man according to wisdom. Very brothers and sisters, if you've been in this truth and you're still in the same dead end job and you're not trying to progress yourself and you're not trying to go get an education or trying to level up, like, come on, man.
You coming to bed, honey?
That's a very exactly. That's a very good one. You need a man according to wisdom. That's a very good one. That's when brothers were playing PlayStation for 2 weeks in a row in COVID lockdown, and they were like, "Yo, what's up?"
He did the creation.
Yes.
Deke went into every day in creation too. That thing was
from day one to day
that.
6.
Yeah. I did go through the 6 days in creation.
Go down.
Ezekiel 37.
What is a gospel?
Damn, y'all guys are just reminiscing here, huh?
Yeah,
it's like watching an old playlist.
We've been eating good.
Yes, we have.
All praises to the Most High.
The Bible is one of my favorites too. Very good. He went over the Bible is the Book of Eli. He broke down the Book of Eli. Very good class. Let's go down.
I did?
Yes.
I remember that.
Bro.
No, that one right there. Go up. Right there. Be like Elisha.
Oh, that's
Man
parts.
of Jacob.
Man of Jacob.
That thing was fire.
Yeah, all praises. So you categorize them.
Yes.
It's easy for them to find them now.
Very good classes,
if they want to go to topics.
I'm gonna tell you.
All praises.
Very good stuff.
Let's keep working on the subscribers, brothers and sisters. We appreciate it.
That's for y'all, so y'all don't have to go through school. You're trying to. Classes are right there. If you want to talk about marriage, you want to go into your faith, you want to go into how do I put in more works, how do I get this spirit off me, how do I don't know, bro. It's a lot of good stuff in there. Just watch, binge watch, and subscribe and share.
All right.
And comments.
All praises to the Most High. All right, we appreciate your fam. Most High in Christ bless y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.
This for the Southern Kingdom, Kwam Yasharallah.
Hey, one nation, one nation.
This for the Northern Kingdom, Viva la Raza.
We one nation, one nation.
This for the Southern Kingdom, Kwam Yasharallah.
Hey, one nation, one nation.
This for the Northern Kingdom, Viva la Raza.
We one nation, one nation.
It wouldn't be Israel without Mexicans. Black love, brown pride, cause we next to kin. We ain't gotta tell Esau to let's be friends, cause we above all nations and we better than them. We the salt of the earth, ayy, ayy. And we been king since birth, ayy, ayy. We put the kingdom first, ayy, ayy. And they gon' get this work, ayy, ayy. We was chosen, not cause we the most of the people. Few in numbers, but we over the people. We gods of this earth, we ain't supposed to be equal. Stop playing, you emotional people. The good gotta triumph over the evil. So my foot's on the throat of the eagle. Their tongues will confess that we the people. Cause my nation ain't never been feeble. For the Southern Kingdom,